energetic tone.
Ready, go, 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 go. All clear, don't speed off.
Things have to go just right.
Right here. Let's go, Gene. Stay focused, brother. Make it live.
You know when you've got a 12-second stop happening, just everybody's in sync together.
Yeah, the pit crew that is in concert with the driver and the team, they usually have success. We bring in our crew chief, Larry McReynolds. He's had success in Richmond as a crew chief, winning 3 times this year. And at the point of the season we're at, Larry, you examine these closely. We rank drivers and power polls. How about the pit crews?
Yeah, I mean, Chris, every week we see races being won and lost on pit road. To your point, since we're roughly a fourth of the way through the season, we thought it'd be a good time to rank what these teams are doing on pit road. So let's start with the driver. That's a very important part of it, how they get down pit road into their box and out of their box. Now, this is all the trips they made down in these first 8 races, and we included penalties, and this is the pit crew itself. This is the average of the 4 tire stops the first 8 races. We also included their fastest stop as well as any penalties they had. So the power rankings ended up when you combine the driver and the pit crew. You can see right there for the first 8 races, Denny Hamlin, that 11 team, they are getting the job done. Now, Regan Smith, one thing that Adam Stevens shared with me, Christopher Bell's crew chief, you have to factor in, even though it's part of it, all of the adjustment teams are making to their race cars on the first few trips to pit road in an environment where we have no practice.
Absolutely, Larry, and that's another challenge for these teams. The pit crews have to make adjustments. The pit crews have to be perfect on the pit road as well. Let's go back to last week, though. Last week, a little trouble for Ryan Blaney, the final pit stop of the race. You see the hose get caught right there. We are talking fractions of an inch. The hose didn't get all the way back around the race car quite like they wanted to. When it did, it got caught underneath the race car. Had that hose been about an inch further in towards the wall, it would have been fine. He would have been able to get off pit road, no big deal. So the guys on both sides of the pit wall have to be perfect, and the pit stops have to be perfectly coordinated. Jamie?
Well, Regan, once that pit stop is made and the car is gone, this is what you don't see, what the pit crews do behind the wall. First off, they take off, see this helmet cam right here? They'll take it off, download it. They'll watch back their pit stop right here to see what they did right and maybe what they missed. Meanwhile, Justin, the gas man over here, he's going to weigh his cans. That will tell him exactly how much fuel gets in that race car. Right now, look at that, 93 pounds full. You come over here, look at this team, they're ready to go. Meanwhile, we got Josh, he's gonna hit the practice hub right here. You guys ready? 6, 7, 8 stops, Paul Swan. Give me your best huddle.
Ready to go, babe, we are ready to go, let's go.
All right, we're track side. Let's fire these engines up, guys.
And now, race fans, for those most famous words in motorsports, please welcome proud owner of a 2012 Toyota Camry and VIP customer of Mechanicsville Toyota, Todd Thompson.
Drivers, start your engines!
Toyotas have the most wins so far this season. Who gets to victory lane in the 9th race of the season? Thanks for being with us on race day. Enjoy the race. 300 miles from Richmond Raceway ahead on Fox.
And that's awesome.
And well, sometimes you don't. So who can solve this short track mystery today? Find out next with NASCAR on Fox.
Welcome to Richmond and the Toyota Owners 400 on Fox. 3/4 of a mile, but so difficult, so tricky. And for this season, look at the winningest drivers of 2020. 25 wins among them, and look at that goose egg. That is the total of wins of Keselowski, Elliott, Hamlin, and Harvick so far this year. You would have gotten long odds on that happening this deep in the season, but here we are at a track that has been proven to be very difficult to understand and even more difficult to overcome. This is a place of surprises and question marks. Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer.
Mike, this place is a mystery. I've never been to a racetrack throughout my career that was so hit or miss. One time you show up there, you've got the place figured out, all your marks, race cars working perfect. Maybe you go to victory lane or get a great finish. The next time you come back, say, let's just put the same setup in. No, it doesn't work. There's just something about how you break into these corners and how you set that nose on those front springs that is so difficult to do consistently, not just lap to lap, but each time you come back here race to race.
Spot on, Jeff. More than any place, you go back and you start thinking about when you go to these racetracks, all right, what do I need to hit? What were the points? When I won there last, how did I do that? And you just get out there and really struggle to duplicate what you were doing, finding that grip, making that baby turn, rolling the middle. Both ends of this racetrack, drastically different, very, very difficult to get a hold of.
It's partly unrepeatable because it's unpredictable. We race here at night, then we race here in the day. We have a ton of caution flags. We have no caution flags, but the stage breaks. You just never know. All right, dial tone, who you got?
I got Brad Kay. Let's get him on here. Hey, Brad Kay, it's Boyer Gordon up at Booth. You got us?
Yeah, what's up, Clint?
Man, you hopefully top 10s the last 5 times here. Got beat up a little bit last weekend in Martinsville, but starting 20th because of that. What's your plan? How are you going to get up there and compete for the win?
Yeah, got a lot of cars to pass, unfortunately, but, you know, last year we started 10th and we got up in the top 2 or 3 there in a few laps, so we've got a good shot of just, you know, being smart. Got to keep the fenders on it. 400 laps is a long time and work our way up there, Clint.
All right, buddy, we'll be watching. Good luck. Make sure you get your pit road speed dialed in here. It's going to be important. No mistakes today. Clean them up. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
Brad will roll off 20th today. Here is today's Toyota starting grid. It's a tall Toyota front row. Between Martin Truex and Denny Hamlin are 5 Richmond victories. Chase Elliott has been a runner-up here, and William Byron top 10 the last 6 races, both in Chevys.
Yeah, Joey Logano, 2-time Richmond winner, starting 5th alongside him. 2017 Richmond winner Kyle Larson.
Row 4 right here, we got Christopher Bell. I look for him to make some noise today, I really do. And Ryan Blaney was bad fast last weekend. I look for a little bit of redemption out of him.
Row number 5 has 9 Richmond victories, between them Harvick and Busch. Let's check in with our crew chief, Larry McReynolds.
Well, Mike, if you think it's a mystery for the drivers, you ought to be one of those crew chiefs. All the things they have to think about adjustments. They have to think about when to make that green flag stop. The driver can help me, though. Let's go to our Ford Performance car. One of the adjustments the driver can make is brake bias. He can go front to rear. Also, though, he can adjust left to right. These are things that driver can do, Regan Smith, that can help that car until the next pit stop.
Larry, it's been unseasonably quiet for Kyle Busch so far this year. That's the bad news for him. The good news is Richmond, perhaps one of his best racetracks. Runner-up yesterday in the Truck Series race. 30 career starts here. Average finish is 6.8. Look for him to make some noise today. Jamie?
Well, Ryan Blaney's coming off one of his best performances of the year last week at Martinsville. Now he finds himself at his worst racetrack. His best finish here, 17th. So how are they going to improve on that? Well, his crew chief Todd Gordon put Brad Keselowski's exact same setup on this 12 car and said he just has to figure out how to drive it today. Mike?
Thanks, Jamie. As we get ready to go here in Richmond, the 2021 Toyota Camry TRD is going to make that hard left turn to pit road. First stage, 80 laps with a competition caution at lap 30. The pace car is in. Truex, Hamlin lead them to the line. Green flag, we're underway. What happened to Hamlin?
What happened to Hamlin? Then what happened to Joey Logano down to turn 1?
I think the same thing, Jeff. Grip level just didn't have those tires cleaned up. We've seen that a lot here at Richmond.
Coming right back to you, looking inside, just looking.
Well, Hamlin recovers for 3rd behind Truex and Elliott. Could he have missed a shift coming to green?
Yeah, it's definitely possible there, Mike, and we'll have to get some radio communication. Boy, that could ruin your day right from the beginning if that's the case. I think he just spun the tires.
Well, but that can. You're right. He did spin the tires the way I saw it. But a lot of times, you know, Jeff, you're trying to backpedal, trying to get that grip back underneath of you. Oh, the same time you're trying to shift a gear. That can play into that. So maybe a bit of both.
6th place. Harvick and Byron as Justin Haley coasts into his pit stall. No drive.
When you come to a track like Richmond, long runs, we all know long runs are important. So because of that air pressure, Jeff, you really want to start with low air. That falls into what you were seeing with cars slipping and sliding around. No practice plays into that. I mean, this is cold turkey, fresh start for a lot of.
Well, and we're trying. Listen, there's a lot of science that goes into these teams, and they do an amazing job engineering out the splitter heights and all those things. But man, if you miss it the slightest bit, it's very easy to get behind here early in this first run.
Denny Hamlin back up to where he started. Let's go back to the start and have another look at this. Control car is Truex.
Well, you got to remember he's reacting off of the pole sitter Martin Truex when he leaves.
And I just wonder if maybe he wasn't just a little bit late to the gas.
You hear it spinning?
I didn't hear any misfit there.
Yeah.
I think he just didn't quite anticipate. I love that shot of the guy going on the racetrack, but I just think he missed on the anticipation of the restart, and then what that does is make you squeeze in that throttle a little bit harder and spin those tires out.
Well, you're just such at a disadvantage in that situation because, again, you're responding, you're reacting to that pole sitter leaving, and then all of a sudden you get on the gas too much, and once they start spinning, you can't get it back underneath of you.
Well, I'm very curious to see. We talked about long run speed, short run speed. Here's Chase Elliott starting to go backwards right now. Is this car going away, or is it going to come to him later?
And it falls right back into the mystery that we were talking about in that conversation leading into this race. It's all about the front tires, the load that you get through those things. These cars, for whatever reason, they don't want to change directions and roll that middle of the corner very well at this racetrack. Very, very challenging as a driver in that car to work your brakes, work your throttle, get that car to turn through the middle.
And right now, the 3 Hendrick cars that started furthest to the front are all running behind the positions where they started. They've all lost spots on the short run.
I can see that this 9 of Chase Elliott's tight. You can tell that because he's already trying to move up, Jeff, open this racetrack up, make it bigger to where he's not pulling on the wheel and make that thing turn.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to. You guess on the setup, based on the last time you were here and hope that you hit it right. But man, it just seems to me like it's real easy to get the balance off, like what we're seeing here out of Chase Elliott, although he has found something up top now. Is he going to be able to make that tight race car work to his advantage, maybe by moving around?
Jamie?
Well, Chase Elliott had a pretty decent run here last year. He finished 5th. They were really good on the long run, but wanted to be better on the short run. So Alan Gustafson told me they're trying something new here with setup to try to find somewhere in the middle. A little bit better on the short run, but it would hurt him on the long run. We'll see if it plays out.
Well, it certainly play out if you get some cautions, and that help. But speaking of caution, you got a competition caution coming at lap 30. That'll help him, and he'll make some adjustments there.
Guys, when you look at Ryan Blaney in that 12 car that was racing with Chase Elliott, really anxious to see how Ryan was going to run here. He has never even had a top 15 finish. I talked to one of his engineers this week, and they said they are totally just puzzled as to why they can't give Ryan what he's looking for at this 3/4 mile track.
Yeah, that's incredible, Larry. 9 starts and not a single top 15 finish.
Still out there to one, still there.
Brad Keselowski has now picked up 5 positions from where he started 13 laps ago.
Well, I'm anticipating a lot of adjustments on pit road. Some wedge adjustments, air pressure adjustments, maybe even some height adjustments with some Packer.
Martin Truex out front. Ryan Blaney taking over 4th from Chase Elliott. Truex, the leader. Toyota, let's go places. And by McDonald's. 20 laps complete. Martin Truex still your leader. Denny Hamlin 2nd. Ryan Blaney is taken 3rd. From Joey Logano, Chase Elliott completes the top 5. Justin Haley, who coasted into the pits earlier, has now gone to the garage. And we got 5 cars already 1 lap down with the comp caution coming 9 laps from now. Regan.
Well, you see Kyle Busch there running behind Brad Keselowski right now. Lost 4 positions since the start of the race. Kyle fighting a race car that's very loose off the corners. Feels like he's on ice. He's also chattering the front tires in the middle. That means that the front tires won't grip when he wants it to turn.
That is a very, very tricky situation to fix too, Jeff. That's not what you want to feel in a race car when you get in it. If it's tight in the middle, broke up like that, loose on the ends, tight in the middle, hard thing to adjust on.
I always say pick your poison. If you need that crew chief to ask you some questions of what do you want me to fix first, because I can't fix it all.
But that's not fair. They always ask you that. So which one's hurting you the worst? Well, one's going to make the other one worse. So I don't know how to answer that. There is no right answer.
I want to know, what is it doing first? Let me work on that first.
It's a good point. You got to get in the corner first, right?
Traffic has allowed Elliott to scoot away from Harvick. That is the 5th place battle. And behind them, they're all kind of stacked up like cordwood. Larson, Bell, Byron, and Dillon. All in pretty much one pack.
One thing I noticed here with the leaders as they caught that lap traffic, Denny Hamlin was actually catching him, Jeff. And at this racetrack, more than any place, it's so important when you catch him with just the least amount of momentum to capitalize on it, because it seems like there's a bubble there. Once you match their speed and don't get to the inside or the outside of them and get in position, you lose it.
There's a great story this week on Austin Dillon where he said that this used to be the track that he most feared coming to, and now it's his most favorite racetrack in the world.
Well, and that's what I talked about in our opening, about this place being a mystery. But man, when you do find something, whether it's a setup or something you're doing as a driver, and you can repeat it, this place will reward you. And it has been rewarding the driver, this number 3 car, Austin Dillon, for the last several times they've been here. So they found something, and it seems to be repeatable, and that's why we're seeing that 3 move forward.
Jamie? Regan, excuse me.
Well, Jeff, you talk about the 3 car and Austin Dillon. When they found what they found was actually in 2017. They had the opportunity to tire test here. Justin Alexander, his crew chief, said ever since that day, we have been spot on at this racetrack. And his eyes lit up this morning, too, when I talked to him about this racetrack. They were very pumped.
Top 6 in 3 of the last 4 races here. Top 6 finish. I'd put him at more than a 60-to-1 shot.
Oh, heck yeah. That's where you want to put your money, is on a long shot like that. Tell you what, we don't see a lot of testing anymore. So those Goodyear tire tests, and when they get those opportunities, boy, you better take advantage of it. And it sounds to me like Austin Dillon, that team, certainly did that on that tire test here in Richmond.
So the competition caution coming next time by. Garrett Smithley is in the free pass position. He's been having a side-by-side battle with his teammate for that spot. Josh Bilicki, 13th here. Kyle Busch moving ahead of Bubba Wallace. There's the Tubi cam on board Kurt Busch, and the caution is out. 30 laps complete, competition yellow, and Anthony Alfredo gets the free pass unofficially. Would you like to win some money?
Yes.
Not you.
You got any money left?
It's mine.
You still have time to enter Clint's Stage 2 contest for a chance to win your share of the $10,000 guaranteed prize. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app for free. Answer 6 questions about Stage 2 to win Clint's money, and here they are.
Oh, I think that's going to be doable for some.
Take it all.
Take all your money.
Clean out my bank account right there. Get all $10,000. Fox Bet, get on there. Still time. Stage 2.
You going to have enough for gas for the plane to ride home?
I'm a bummer ride. Papa Jeff.
Larry, what do you do here?
Well, if you don't come and get 4, you will be part of the Put It Out in the pre-race at Talladega next week.
All right, Regan.
Well, Mike, you guys just talked about the driver needing to pick one thing to fix. That's exactly what Kevin Harvick did. He said, I am too tight in the middle. That's what I need you to fix first for me, to crew chief Rodney Childers. And on the right of the screen, Joey Logano. That race car took him about 10 laps to come in, fighting rear grip right now. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin in the 11 said he's a little bit tight in 3 and 4. Good on entry, though. Pretty happy with his car overall. The 12 of Ryan Blaney wants to be tightened up a bit on entry. Turn 3 is pretty decent, so overall pretty happy there as well. And the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Chassis adjustment, fuel, 4 tires.
Here's your Ram race off pit road, and Denny Hamlin will take the lead from his Joe Gibbs Toyota teammate. Dillon, Byron, Bell, Keselowski, Reddick all make gains. 30 green laps, and then the competition caution. We are racing at Richmond. Fox NASCAR is sponsored by the all-new Bronco Sport, built wild. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Under caution at the completion of the competition caution, your Ford Performance Track Facts. Ford has 30 wins at Richmond, beginning with Paul Goldsmith in 1957. Brad Keselowski in the one race they had here last year went to victory lane. So how did Denny Hamlin beat Martin Truex on that pit stop? Look under crew, and you'll see by a full second.
11-9. That is getting it done right there. And it plays right into what we were talking about at the top of the show, the importance of pit road right here. You saw it right there firsthand. Put him in the lead. Now he's got the track position. Now he won't be the one spinning the tires because of a reaction. It's going to be Martin Truex.
All right, one penalty. Daniel Suarez had an uncontrolled tire on his number 99, so he'll start in the back. And a correction. Anthony Alfredo was on the lead lap at the time of the caution, so that means Garrett Smithley will get the free pass, and there goes the tire from the 99.
And the guy running after it. Get that tire now.
Yeah, you saw, I mean, that, the timing of all those things have to be so orchestrated, and you saw that tire just hit the other tire and bounced away from the guy trying to grab it.
Hamlin chooses the outside.
I gotta believe this is sort of a teammate thing, that they're going to work together on this. Or, hey, maybe Denny just really likes being able to hold the 19 of Truex.
Now you're
down
seeing
low.
a teammate right there. Gave him a little bit, braked, slowed up a little bit, put him down. He's going to get going.
Boy, yeah, but that opens up the door for Joey Logano to get to the outside of Truex.
Puts me right back into what we saw on pit road. If I'm Martin Truex right now, biting my lip a little bit. Dang it, guys. Such tight quarters racing off at turn 2 back there, Jeff. You run out of real estate, especially on these restarts with cars on your outside.
I expected more guys to start on the inside lane, but these guys that chose that outside lane, it's actually been working for them. Maybe it's just for a couple laps, it really helps you kind of get that momentum off the corner.
What I was saying, what you see right there, you can take the real estate. You need that real estate moving up off the racetrack. You're trying to hold it and stay off that car. If you can get in position on him, you can hold him down and make the pass.
How about this guy, the 2, Brad Keselowski? We talked about it and talked to him at the start of this show. Man, he runs so good here, and he is making his way up through there, Mike.
Now, he started 20th, Jeff, and that is due to the matrix NASCAR uses when we don't have qualifying. It's a combination of point standing position, prior race finish at Martinsville, and fastest lap ranking at Martinsville. So he started 20th, but Regan, he's coming to the front.
Mike, he absolutely is. A strong race so far for Brad. Spoke to crew chief Jeremy Bullins this morning and said, how much did you change since the last time here? You guys won that race and were so quick. He said, we actually changed a few little things. They wanted to focus on the long runs with that race car. So as this race plays out, let's wait and see how that 2 car is on the long runs. They should be a little better.
You saw right behind the 2 car. We talked about those that did great on pit road, but the 4 car of Kevin Harvick there, he got blocked in, had a little issue on that stop, lost some spots. Also, Kyle Larson, the 5 car, lost something like 10 or 11 spots on pit road.
See
Yeah, Jeff, Kyle Larson's 5 crew was a 17.78 compared to a lot of 12 and 13-second pit stops.
Ooh, not too good.
Jamie?
Well, to follow up with that on the 5 car, he was really tight in the center, and the splitter was getting into the track. So Cliff Daniels, crew chief, decided to put a packer in to get that splitter off the racetrack, and that's why they had such a long stop.
There's the rest of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
And you need to use that opportunity. Do not wait to the end of the race. Don't let this, continue to hold you back. You need to pounce on it, get the adjustment done early. Well, you have the rest of the race.
And take that first opportunity to make the biggest adjustment.
Yeah. As for Denny Hamlin, we went back through all of their pit stops this season, and the one they just made was their second fastest of the entire year, and look what it got them.
Well, I appreciate it right now, but I need that again at the end of this race when the money's on the line.
Now, Christopher Bell passed Brad Keselowski 2 laps ago. Brad keeps having a look to the inside.
Well, we talked about this before the race today, and we really believe Christopher Bell could have a standout race here. He's been very good here in the Xfinity cars. Joe Gibbs Racing's so strong here. Look at our top, 2 or 3 guys there, his teammates. So I expect Christopher Bell to be very strong. Not a surprise to me that he's going to the outside now, moving forward around the outside of the 9 of Chase Elliott.
You're looking at 3-time Xfinity race winner here, so for sure has the credentials to get it done. See right there in position. Whoa, so close. That's where you got to pin him down. If you can just get to their right rear, now he's going to get in there. If he can roll it around there, take that real estate away that I talked about. See, now he's going to complete the pass because the 9 car had to pull on the wheel to stay off of him right there. And as he did that, it got loose.
Yeah, that tight condition turns into a loose condition, right? Once the back end comes around.
And here, more than any, you want to talk about frustrating, Mike. Here, more than anything, that old girl, she's tight in the middle and it won't turn. As soon as you stand on the gas, now the thing wants to spin out. Back to that conversation. Well, which one is it? What will help you the most? I need both.
And I need it now, right? So Bell holds 6th. Hamlin with a 2nd lead over Logano.
The other thing you have to pay attention to, and it goes right back to that conversation, right? Which one's hurting you the most? Rolling the middle of this track is so important. You heard Kevin Harvick, I want to free this thing up in the middle. Got to be careful, though, because what happens is you go too far, you get loose in, you get loose off.
Well, let's use our telemetry lower left and take a ride with Denny Hamlin out front.
You can see out of the gas real early, tapers that brake all the way to the center until it's time to pick up the throttle. Look at that, 50% throttle almost all the way out to the wall. Only wide open on this front straightaway for just a couple seconds.
What I see that I like the most is the brake. Very little brake input. Tells me the car's rolling nice. That enables him to get off that brake pedal, save that brake temperature in them tires. Oh, by the way, that helps on a long run, keeping that temperature out of those tires, because we all know temperature adds air pressure, makes those tires not work.
Boy, he's just making it look easy right now. It's just so smooth, under control. Car's very stable on entry and on exit.
Textbook.
And he is pulling away just slightly on Joey Logano as we see Brad Keselowski bringing Austin Dillon along, perhaps. 7th for Brad now.
Yeah, we talk about short run, long run. I'll tell you what, Brad Keselowski and the 3 of Austin Dillon have very good long run cars.
He's continuing to see Chase Elliott struggling right there, and I think he's still tight, Jeff. You can see that car have a lot of wheel in it, and then it wants to snap and get loose up off. That tells me right there at that 3/4 mark, you've got to have that car neutral so it doesn't want to spin the tires.
So let's not ignore William Byron, who sits in 4th place. What are they thinking on the 24?
Toronto 1.11 or 22 is left in. Turn 3, we're on top of each other. Turn 1, we drag brake in there a little bit. We use less brakes, honestly, than most of the time. Right now, we're doing okay.
And that's these teams analyzing that same telemetry that we were looking at and looking at who's fast and trying to compare your driver to their driver and feed some of that information back over the radio.
Smart move right there by Kevin Harvick. You know, we talked about Chase struggling with a tight condition. If you can get to his outside right there, take that position away, that racetrack away on the exit, he'll have to lift. That's how you make the pass.
Joey Logano now beginning to close in just a bit on Denny Hamlin, and you'll see it all as we take you Fox side by side.
You're into your shows, right? The Office. Now you can be really into your shows with Xfinity. Find your favorites with just your voice.
There is no fire. It was only a simulation.
What? Dwight. Get live sports on the go. He's stealing my scene. And if you have Xfinity Internet, Flex is included. So your entertainment starts at free. So go on. Get really into your shows. You need lotion. Xfinity. It's a way better way to watch.
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. Like the house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster, an insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
The bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Flo from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here.
Super fun beach day, everybody.
I am here and now. Where stories you pass down are born. I am where drivers become legends. And legends become the new kings. I'm where nothing's impossible. Even a champion rising again in Phoenix. I'm moving forward. And if you really try, you can catch me. I am NASCAR.
Carl shopped for the lowest mortgage rate and chose Amerisave, a choice he'll never regret. Unlike the choice to hitchhike, which ruined his hand modeling career.
It's over.
Don't worry, Carl. Things are looking up. Visit Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Mike shopped for the lowest mortgage rate and chose Amerisave, a choice he'll never regret. Unlike using Perm Plus, a shampoo which attracts cats. Lots and lots of cats. Visit Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings.
The new Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich with brioche buns, mayo, pickles, and a quarter-pound filet as far as the eye can see. Get comfy, it's gonna be a while. This thing's huge. Get the new Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich for just $3.99. It's finger-licking good.
I am a driver with a dream. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
Saturday on FS1, a great MLB doubleheader. The Nationals take on the NL East leading Mets at 3 Eastern. Then at 7, the Rangers battle the White Sox. It's all on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. 62 laps complete in Richmond. Denny Hamlin leading Joey Logano by about that same 1.3 seconds. What's going on with the leader?
This is as easy as I can take care of the rear tires. I just don't think I have enough. Day racers, so about the rear tires going to be worn out for everybody. Just keep managing, doing good.
And I think Denny's one of the best at taking care of rear tires, especially at this racetrack. So, you know, that's really good information back to the crew chief to see, okay, is there an adjustment of air pressure or something that we might be able to do to help that drive off?
Look at the speed difference in just 20 green flag laps.
I tell you, Mike, this place for about 1 lap has incredible grip of those tires, and it starts to fall off really fast.
Wow, look at that.
Unbelievable.
Massive difference.
Yeah, the biggest thing a crew chief has to be here is a salesman. I know you're spinning your tires, but you're spinning them less than the competition.
But that's so true. And very important, too. You know, attitude goes so far in this deal in any sport, but this racetrack, the frustrations, you know, there is no perfect setup. You got 2 corners that are drastically different than one another. Keeping your driver cool, keeping him in the game, keeping him pumped up, it's a big, big part.
Alex Bowman put some pressure on Brad Keselowski.
Bowman is up 6 spots since the restart. Make that 7 as he moves into 8th place.
We're definitely starting to see some consistency and some fast race cars out of that 48 Ally Chevrolet. We saw it last week, and then, of course, the loose wheel at the end really hurt him.
You saw him wrap that bottom right there, and Brad kind of moved up and tried something different. You see how Brad's not on the bottom right there, struggling. If you get down there in 1 and 2, it's almost kind of like Atlanta, what we talked about. You get down there, lock onto that train track down there, and hook that yellow line. Man, feels good.
Now, Bowman's only seen 1.2 seconds of fall off from his best lap to his last lap. Leader Denny Hamlin is 2 seconds difference between his best lap and his most recent lap.
And a lot of that is just clean air. You know, Denny Hamlin had clean air at the beginning. He could take off and, you know, really lay down some fast laps. So when you're back in traffic, you know, you're maneuvering through that traffic. You got all the disturbed air back there also. So you don't normally put the best laps together on a restart. But sometimes that'll take care of those tires in the long run too, Mike.
Here's 11th place. Kyle Busch to the inside of Chase Elliott. And the lap car of Josh Bilicki stays up high and out of the way.
This is certainly the point in the run where you're starting to move around. You see right there, see his right sides on those hash marks. I've always told people there, for whatever reason, there's a lot of juice right there, a lot of grip seems like there. Now you get down here in 1 and 2, kind of the same thing, but for me, I had to diamond off the exit. I had to shoot back across and keep my car flat. And what that means on the throttle, you want to get that left rear down and digging.
Keep an eye on this 47-42 battle. They were very close to contact coming off turn number 4. Ricky Stenhouse and Ross Chastain.
A couple of aggressive drivers.
Neither one of those guys will back down.
Nope. That is for 14th position.
Well, Ross Chastain, we know, we've documented this in the past, needs a good run, and he's putting one together here. That car looks strong, the 42. Unfortunately for Chase Elliott, things are not going the right direction. So gonna have to really dissect down those details and that handling and see if they can't make another major adjustment. Jamie, you have something on the 9?
Yeah, on that first stop for the 9 of Chase Elliott, they just made an air pressure adjustment in the right rear, very slight. But now he's saying his biggest problem is that the entry to the corner is worse. They said, I guess we'll just have to go back on that adjustment, a little air pressure adjustment coming up on this next stop.
Well, and that goes right back to what you were saying, Clint. You know, be careful what you fix, because it can then accentuate something else that you thought was not going to be a problem. But in this case, they probably tried to free him up through the center, and then that made his entry real loose.
And it's one of the hardest things as a driver in that car. You know that crew chief, he's capable and willing and wants to change that thing. He's going to take a swing at it, and you know in the back of your mind, man, I don't know. When I have both of these problems, it's a hard thing to fix.
Truex closing on Logano right here.
See the differences in lines of what Joey Logano's trying to do is straighten out that front straightaway and that exit off of turn 4 to get that launch.
Coming into 3 here.
So it looked to me like maybe Logano carried a lot of speed into the center and went up the racetrack.
Looked to me like either his spotter or his mirror worked pretty well.
All right, 68 degrees and a mostly cloudy day, but we are beginning to see the sun poke through here from time to time.
And that is just a crew chief's nightmare. You're trying to adjust to certain circumstances, what your driver's telling you, and as soon as you get a plan together, all of a sudden the track conditions change and the balance of the car and the grip level changes.
But they can play it into your favor too, right? If you're fighting a little bit of a loose condition or a tight condition one way or the other, those clouds coming in and out of that might help you, or they're probably going to hurt you. Usually make your problem worse.
15th through 17th here as Elliott continues to backslide. He restarted 6th.
See right here in front of him, Tyler Reddick, I heard reports of him being loose in. You can see him pretty nervous right there. Slow getting into the corner trying to roll.
Truex around the outside of Logano. Lapped car ahead. That drops to the bottom. That's
Oh, Joey missed the bottom right there. Moved up. Gonna run him up the track a little bit.
Yeah, once Truex can get to that quarter panel, if this lap car doesn't mess with his line, he should be able to get this position. There he goes.
BJ McLeod staying way up high and out of the way. Okay, last lap for stage 1.
So they're going to race each other pretty hard right here, I think.
Oh, Hamlin just gave the bumper to a lapped car coming out of turn 2. That's Corey LaJoie.
And you know, Corey, he's fighting to stay in that lead lap.
And he just might do it. Here they come to the line to complete the stage. And I think
Denny cut him a break.
Thank you.
Denny Hamlin wins stage 1, so score 1 for the hometown hero, Chesterfield, Virginia's
Your screen, that race car, they missed the adjustment the first stop. That race car's been too loose for him in right now. The 22, Joey Logano, upper right of your screen. That race car has just been a little bit too tight for him this run. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin in the 11 has led 52 laps, wants to work on drive, basically just wants it to roll better and carry that speed through the corners. The 12 of Ryan Blaney, a little tight in the center, but he wants those back tires to stay under him longer. Basically what everybody wants. Track bar and air pressure. The 19 center is too tight. He can't point off the corner, and it's a gaggle, but it's the 11 team once again.
And here's your Ram race off pit road. Kyle Busch, the big winner there. Kevin Harvick picks up 2. And we looked back at Harvick's first pit stop where he lost a bunch of spots, and it turned out he had to wait for the last car in the lead lap, Anthony Alfredo, to get into his box before Harvick could leave his pit, and that was the reason.
What do you say we dial up stage 1 winner? Hey, Denny, this is the guys up in the Fox Sports booth. You got us? Well, man, same story. Man, you guys are just flawless right now. The car looks great. Great pit stops. And you're out there setting sail, but it's early. So tell me, how do you approach this to get yourself in position to get that first win of the season?
Just trying to keep up with the racetrack. I think, obviously got a good baseline here. Us at 19, and I'm not sure where the rest of the teammates are, but I feel like our car is pretty good. Just got to fine-tune it a little bit, keep up with the track as it changes.
All right, man. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck the rest of the way.
We didn't have the heart to tell him that the stage 1 winner hasn't won.
No, I did not.
All right. Restart zone.
Much better start for second place Mark Truex Jr. all over the rear bumper of our leader Denny Hamlin right now.
In the 22, Logano had good short run speed last time. You're going to see it again right here as he looks to the inside of Martin Truex. Kyle Busch there capitalizing on a great pit stop. +4 for them guys.
Fourth place, Blaney around the outside of William Byron.
Bowman going to the inside of William Byron. Tell you what, that 48 car is fast today.
Alex Bowman just ran his fastest lap of the race.
See Kyle Busch rolling to the outside. Kevin Harvick taking advantage of that good pit stop, but also taking advantage of that car, how good it rolls around the outside. Oh, maybe spoke a little too soon right there through the center. Maybe got a little greedy with it, but he still got the exit speed.
Still out there, bumper. There, he got a little run. Still outside. Got a crossover, watch your bottom. Clear low. Clear low.
That was a good view, that left rear tire, Clint, how low they are on air pressure. Help that car turn through the center, but also hope that that car squats down and gets a grip of this racetrack with that low air pressure.
Well, you know,
Jeff, they'll go down to about 10 PSI. That's just a little more than you actually put in a basketball that you play out in the driveway with.
That's one of those things the driver doesn't want to know. Just don't tell me.
Yeah. Sixth place, Kevin Harvick. Down to the inside. Harvick is the only car in the top 10 that is not from one of this season's 3 powerhouse teams, Joe Gibbs, Penske, or Hendrick.
Certainly not been a very Kevin Harvick-esque type of season for them, but I do see them making slight gains each and every week, and their pit crew has been keeping them in the game also.
And this is a good racetrack for him. He likes this place, gets around it well. We talked about him in the pre-race show with him. I think he can run in the top 5 here and be a huge momentum builder for him and his team.
One of the cars he's going to have trouble passing is Alex Bowman, who just made it up to 4th place.
Yeah, he's marching his way forward. We saw some speed out of that car in that last run, so that continues. I don't know if they made any adjustments, Greg Ives, and that team on pit road, but right now things are really rolling well for this team.
Keselowski in ninth, under fire from Christopher Bell, and the lead is tightened up.
Truex wants that clean air. He's been all over Denny Hamlin from the start, and it's such a tough place to be if you're the leader, Denny Hamlin. You know you've got to save these tires. You don't want to push it too hard, but you got your teammate who you know you might have to race for the win. Now here comes Truex, gets to the outside.
Man, you saw how much he beat him to the throttle right here. Up off that corner, he smoked him to the gas.
Only 2 drivers have led in these first 100 laps, and you're looking at them. That FedEx Strong on the back of Hamlin's car was added yesterday in response to the tragedy in Indianapolis. That whole company racing and working with heavy hearts.
You just see he's just rolling better than him. Beats him to the gas, beats him in the middle. Gonna be hard to keep behind you.
And right now, if you look in your rearview mirror and you're Mark Truex Jr., you see that 22 of Logano coming into the picture. You want to get this pass made and made quick, but it's also your teammate. You gotta kind of be kind in how you play right now.
More than 2 good battles on the racetrack right now. And folks, please don't blame us. But the last caution for cause at Richmond that was not a competition caution or a stage break happened in 2019.
Well, but what does that do? That just goes back into your playbook, you know, of what kind of strategy you're going to play. We see how much fall off is in these tires. So you're going to see some when they finally have to come under green and make some of these stops of how they vary that and utilize those fresh new tires in that 2-second gap that possibly is built up there from somebody on old tires.
So Larry, if we stay green, what's your plan for this second stage?
Yeah, Mike, the fuel window is about 105 to 115 laps, but what they're going to do, they will split this stage into thirds. So what they'll do, they should pit here probably in about 30, 32 laps, around lap 138. Again, at lap 186, that gets you to the end of stage 2. 2 stops in this stage. A strategy that seemed contrary when first tried here by Ricky Stenhouse and crew chief Brian Patty when they were at Roush Fenway racing. 105 complete. Teammates in Toyotas battling for the lead of NASCAR. 113 of 400 laps complete in Richmond. Here are the Xfinity fastest laps of the day so far. All of these were set on lap 2 of today's race. And look, we're in full sunshine right now, and that's going to have an effect on things. You see the glare off the shield of Martin Truex, who leads Denny Hamlin by 0.8 of a second. So what are the best and worst pit stalls here at Richmond? There are the 3 best, beginning with pit stall 1, usually taken by the pole sitter. And those are the 3 that have not proven to be so successful.
And the reason why is timing lines. I mean, obviously, this pit road not having not only 1 but 2 curves as you're coming in and exiting on here makes it pretty unique to others, but those timing lines and where these pit stalls are at located within those are so important.
Well, and there's a reason why Denny Hamlin ranks as one of the best on rolling time as a driver gets down pit roads, because that team does a good job working those timing lines for those pit stalls.
So Kyle Busch back in 11th. Not lost on him that his fastest lap of the race is almost half a second slower than Denny Hamlin's fastest lap, Regan.
Well, Mike, that lap is slower, as you just mentioned, and you would expect the 6-time winner here to be very happy at this track, but Kyle Busch a little frustrated right now. Listen to this.
I can't step on the gas on the exit of the corner. Let's go drive. Free it out chassis-wise and give me some rear downforce. That's what it needs. Now it's right middle. It's past the point of center, of Beach's center, I guess, and no better off. So reverse center. I just love my job.
So what did he say in pre-race? That on his best of days, on a scale of 1 to 10, his frustration meter drops down to about a 5.
Yeah, exactly. He just drives frustrated. Maybe that's his motivation. That's what gets him to get the result that he's looking for. And, you know, some of this is just you're venting, right? You're frustrated, and how do you get that frustration out? Well, sometimes you push that button on the steering wheel and start talking.
Yeah, I always said that was my pop-off valve. I wasn't very good at that thing.
Neither was I.
Mike. Oh, it was so easy. Just reach up and hit the button. And then everybody, you get out and look at your guys, and they won't look at you after the race. Like, well, what's wrong with you?
Well, Larry, when he says, just give me some more rear downforce and laughs, he's kind of making a joke, but not really, is he?
Well, he is, Mike, but that's the challenge of this place, and it has not changed in years, is you try to help the turn in the middle, and you don't really help it. You just hurt the drive off. So that's what I said when I was talking to Clint earlier, all kidding aside. Tell me what it does first, and that's what we'll work on, and then we'll work our way around the corner.
Well, and some of the added frustration there, Larry, is it's not that he's in 11th spot right now and wanting to move forward. It's all 3 of his teammates are ahead of him. Truex is the leader, Hamlin's second, and Christopher Bell is in 6th.
And Eric Almirola right here, finally having a good run, the run that we expect out of him. Needs a top 10, hasn't had one this year. This is a big, big run for them. Got to be able to close the deal, though. These guys, he's run well, but he's really struggled to get to the end of these races.
Right, at this point last year in the season, Almirola had 3 top 10 finishes, as Clint pointed out. None just yet, and just ahead of him, Ryan Blaney, for whom statistically Richmond, Jamie, has been his worst track.
Yes, this has been a terrible place for Ryan Blaney, so they put Brad Keselowski setup on, and he was doing a good job with it to start out this race, running top 5. Now he has slipped back to 9th, barely hanging on to 9th from Eric Almirola, pressuring him from behind. But after 20 laps this run, he said, it's terrible. There's no drive off this. We keep hearing just the rear tires are gone. He can't hang on.
Blaney's average finish here, 25th. 45 of 155 laps complete in this stage. Martin Truex leading Denny Hamlin by a slim margin. Aerial coverage at Richmond provided by Goodyear. For those who push the limits of possibility, Goodyear, more driven. 132 laps complete, and our leader Martin Truex in that blue number 19 getting into traffic. Denny Hamlin closing right up. So let's go under the helmet with Martin Truex Jr. Brought to you by Toyota.
NASCAR champion and last week's winner, Martin Truex Jr., is achieving his goals both on and off the track. Alongside his longtime girlfriend, Sherry Pollux, Martin and the Martin Truex Jr. Foundation founded Catwalk for a Cause. The event drives awareness to the fight against childhood and ovarian cancers. Over the years, NASCAR drivers and their families have participated to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for the fight against childhood and ovarian cancers.
Did I just see Clint dancing?
That was an attempt. Such a neat program, the Catwalk for a Cause, that Sherry Pollux and him have done. Phenomenal job. So much fun, but the impact that it makes in those kids, you know, the light that you see in their eyes, it's just neat. It's very, very special. Cool event. And I'm, you know, very, very proud to be a part of that every single year. You get that invite, that's when you want to be at.
Great event. Absolutely. Truex, of course, tops our list of Toyota top performers. Hamlin second, Bell sixth, Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace. Chris Buescher has hit pit road, so has Kevin Harvick. And here comes Kyle Busch as well. Regan.
Well, Kevin Harvick, one of the first cars to blink. They hadn't helped the center of that race car at all, and they still were too tight, so they wanted to go ahead, pit now, making an adjustment. And we saw Kyle Busch on pit road. That race car, they continue to hurt the center for him also. Lots of complaints about the center of the corner right now.
The leader, Martin Truex, is in. So is Ryan Newman. 48 of Alex Bowman, Eric Almirola, and more. Jamie.
The 19 Martin Truex Jr. car is pretty good. He got a better restart there, and that helped him a lot. He's had the lead for quite a while. A 4-tire stop here. Eric Almirola in, and Denny Hamlin's team on the wall waiting for their driver to make it down as well.
Joey Logano takes over the lead. Jamie.
Denny Hamlin rolling better this run. That's really what he wanted. The whole idea coming into this race was to adjust it so that the corners were connected. Entry and exit. They've pretty much done that. It's just a matter of rolling the middle. Let's go back to Regan.
Joey Logano took the lead for one lap there, decided to pit immediately afterwards. Car fired off better, but it's not turning the center quite as good as he wants to right now.
Logano on pit road. He may not officially lead a lap. Brad Keselowski looks like will from Austin Dillon. Chase Elliott, William Byron finishing up.
This is where you can't afford mistakes. It's so hard to get on pit road here. The transition as you're going on the racetrack, trying to make the decision, stay up on the track as long as you can, or get down on that apron where you know it's probably going to be dirty. Very, very important. And it's also equally as important to not beat yourself in this situation.
Well, and Martin Truex Jr. has had some...
Oh, turn 3. Around goes Newman. They were 3 wide, and they wouldn't all fit. He goes off the bumper of Austin Cindric.
Oh, talk about timing.
The first caution for cause. And who benefits? The top 6. Keselowski, Dillon, DiBenedetto, Reddick, and LaJoie and Suarez had not yet stopped.
That is not what you want to see if you just pitted.
But if you're Brad Keselowski, it's what you want to see. Now, the 6 of Newman had just been on pit road. He came with some of the leaders, so you should have new tires. See, we're 3 wide here. See, Larson. Ooh, Larson goes to the inside of the 33 of Austin Cindric, but it looked like Cindric tried to give him a lot of room and made contact with Newman.
Hey, that's a product of trying to get into turn 3 wide. Never works.
Cindric making his 3rd career Cup start and first at Richmond. One of 6 drivers making their first Cup start here today.
I mean, it's luckily the 6 of Newman made really minimal contact with that outside wall. So you really think in an area of the car that should be less sensitive.
I don't know if you can pin that on Austin Cindric. I mean, honestly, you go 3 wide getting into turn 3. That outside car is going to be the one that loses that battle.
So Christopher Bell will get the free pass, but a lot of good cars are going to have to take the wave around to avoid having to restart 1 lap down. Pit road will be open as we have just 6 cars on the lead lap. Bell will make 7 plus whoever takes the wave around.
Well, remember when we were talking about that awesome strategy utilizing new tires versus old tires? It's really good unless the caution comes out.
Ray, why did you pit me?
I just went with the trends, Clint.
Regan?
Well, a great break for Brad Keselowski with the caution coming out there. That race car is too loose. He needs to have it fixed getting into the corner right now. Very descriptive about where it's too loose as it gets into the corners. And the 3-car Austin Dillon, he fires off loose. It gets better as he runs, but he's just way too loose to start runs. Jamie Little?
Tyler Reddick in the 8 pulls into his pit box. A great break for them with that caution right there. The car's been okay. Very responsive to the adjustments they made today, but right now they'll focus on tightening them up because freeing them up didn't help. So keep your eye on those RCR cars moving forward.
First caution for cause in 2 years here at Richmond. 3 wide into turn 3. Risky business. Laps to go in stage 2 in Richmond. with all the waiver rounds, we will restart with 20 cars on the lead lap. Everybody from Kyle Larson on down. Larson, Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, they're all 1 lap down, along with Chris Buescher, Cole Custer, Ryan Preece, Michael McDowell, and BJ McLeod. They will restart 1 lap down after everything sorts out from green flag pit stops and this caution flag for Ryan Newman.
Certainly hurt some guys, helped others. Austin Dillon's one of them that I look at. He was struggling, lost some spots on that last restart, said he was too loose right there. Now he's got up there and got that track position back, which will help all those problems.
What I'm anxious to see is we documented how the 2 car and a couple others, caught that caution. Now they have fresh tires. The other guys ahead of them, about 4 or 5 of them, have 3 to 4 laps on their tires. Will we see a big difference in speed from those brand new fresh Goodyears versus those that have a few laps on them?
Joey Logano will roll off 5th. We'll listen to his spotter, TJ Majors. Kevin Harvick has just led his 19th lap of the entire season, and he will lead them to green.
Spun the tires.
On you, so protected to the start finish line now. 1 outside.
3 wide.
2 outside.
There's those fresh tires. 3 wide on the outside.
2 outside.
You got to make it hay while the sun's shining, and that's exactly what he's trying to do right there. You know that advantage is going to equalize, so you've got to pounce on it fast.
Still there. 48. Still fairly there. You're clear about half. Next spot, somebody cross it. Watch bottom.
Man, that's TJ Majors. That was busy.
Yes. Still 3 wide, way back through the pack. And one of those was Newman, who took a little swipe out of Ricky Stenhouse's car.
Well, you said it, Clint. Those new tires for Brad Keselowski, he was able to go 3 wide, make a pretty aggressive move there in the first corner. But since then, it's sort of leveled off for him.
But this is the shot in the arm that he needed. It's always amazing just how much that really shakes it. Look at this action. Bail abort. Thought better of it right there with Austin Dillon. Probably a smart move right there.
I thought we were going to see the same thing with Corey LaJoie that we just saw with Ryan Newman. He turned down in their corner, didn't expect him to be 3 wide, and they almost made contact and sent him around.
Corey LaJoie was running right in this position, 10th or 11th last week at Martinsville, and got caught up in somebody else's mess. Somebody took the nose off his car on pit road.
Prime example of the benefactor of that caution and how it shakes things up in these races.
So this is the battle for 1 lap down. Eric Jones and Kyle Larson. If that caution comes out, this is going to be a very important position.
Yep, the fight for the free pass right here.
And I can promise you the crew chiefs and spotters are telling them that very information too. You race him hard. We need this spot. Very important.
3 wide behind them into the corner. And they sort it out. Christopher Bell way on the bottom, trying to get inside and away from it all. Kyle Busch in the middle of it.
We know up here 3 wide doesn't work at Richmond very well, but these guys hadn't figured it out.
Wow, we're still 3 wide right here. Give each other a little bit more room.
Man, that's awesome. That is awesome racing right there. Kyle Busch says, hey, you guys are having all the fun being 3 wide. I'm going to put my number 18 car right in the middle.
Yeah, Cole, you might have gone to the luck bank one too many times there, but now it settles out 2 wide. Good thing for everybody. Let's go back up front with Jamie.
Martin Truex Jr. continuing to lead now, but he's been saying he's having to use too much brake to keep his car on the bottom of the racetrack. Now we just radioed that he has some brake shake. Clint, Jeff, what exactly does does that mean, and what can he do to fix the problem?
There is not a worse track on the circuit for that exact thing, and it's a heating and cooling thing. It's usually there's just too much cooling down the straightaway, but you're using those brakes really hard, so then they get hot extremely fast, and it's either buildup or a little bit of warp in that rotor that causes that feedback and kickback in the pedal.
And it's not just a little bit. We're talking violent vibration. You're thinking something's going to fall off this thing, and it'll just keep doing it lap after lap, but that's what it is. There is definitely a sweet spot in the brakes of these things. You know, they want to be in that sweet spot at 1,200 degrees. I'm talking hot, and if you get them too cool, they usually shake really bad. But that being said, he actually said that he was using too much brake. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I want to be able to get in that corner, get off those brakes, and my car still roll and do the work for me. If you have to, what happens is you have to hold your brakes on to keep that nose pin, to keep it turning. Now we're back to that conversation of brake temperature equals air pressure equals she's getting tighter.
Well, and yeah, what will that do over the long run of those air pressures as they build up in those tires? So we'll be monitoring how Denny Hamlin's managing his brakes and his tires over this long run.
And the other thing, too, that was to wrap the bottom. Whoa, you saw the 10 Eric Almirola slip up right there. Almost.
Did he slip up, though? Because Ross Chastain was all over his rear bumper.
Maybe we got some diving way down in the corner right there. That's good racing. Just kind of the way the year's been for Eric and that team right there. Again, was rolling right there. We just talked about it. Rolling into the top 10, everything's fine. Just marching slowly, methodically up through the field. Caution comes out. Restart the process.
Ryan Blaney got off to a slow restart, dropped 3 spots, but now seems to be maintaining pace with the group he's racing with, but back there at the back end of the lead lap at 18th. Let's take a quick check on the cars that benefited from this caution, including starting with Keselowski, who had been running 8th just prior to pit stops and getting lucky with the caution. He's now 5th. Austin Dillon was 15th. He's now 9th. Matt DiBenedetto was 16th. He is now 8th. Tyler Reddick benefited. He was 18th. He's now 6th. And Corey LaJoie was 24th. He's now 11th. And finally, Daniel Suarez was 26th. He is now in the 10th spot. But up front, the winner of 5 of his last 11 Cup short track auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Welcome back to the Toyota Owners 400. Let's check in on Clint's game and see who's going to have the best finish in stage 2 of this group. I'd say it's still in doubt.
Sure hope y'all paid attention to the Gibbs boys. Hendrick guys are struggling a little bit.
But yeah, I don't know which one you picked there, though.
Joey, well, Blaney's in there, too.
Well, but between Mark Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin, yeah, Truex looks strong right now, but every time they come into some lap traffic, all of a sudden, Denny really closes in, so that could swap the lead here at the end of stage 2.
Now, there are some feuds brewing on the racetrack. There's Eric Almirola and everybody. There's Eric Jones and Corey LaJoie. There's Ross Chastain and the car in front of him. There's a lot going on here.
It's called short track racing, buddy. And then you have
3 wide into 3.
Oh, I've been watching this battle. We just saw the 18 of Kyle Busch came through these guys. They were making contact coming off of turn 4. Here's a shot of that. You see Kyle gets to the outside of his teammate, and then Corey gets a little bit loose, so opens up the door. Look at the 18 squeezing through the middle. I thought they made contact, but maybe not. And then here comes William Byron to be a part of this.
Saw Kyle wiggle pretty good getting off into turn 1 right there. That's pretty typical of turn 1. Easy to get loose in there, especially when you drive it off in there that hard.
Now Ross Chastain's working to stay on the lead lap. He and Ricky Stenhouse are the last 2 lead lap cars. Blaney's on the lead lap, but the other cars they're racing against got trapped 1 lap down by the timing of that caution.
Good racing right there. Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe. Ross crossed him over, got underneath of him, getting into 3. Returned the favor down in 3 and 4 to the exact same crossover move.
Chase Briscoe's father and grandfather fielded winning sprint cars in Indiana for a couple generations, and before he left Indiana, Chase took the record for the youngest driver to win in a 410 Sprinter ever from Jeff Gordon.
Mustang week, how about that?
Yep.
Yeah, I raced with Chase Briscoe's family and those race cars for years. Boy, they always had great equipment and were one of the best cars that you were going to have to compete against week in and week out around the local tracks in Indiana.
So wait a minute. So if they beat the legendary Jeff Gordon, it was good. They had the best equipment out there.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. We all had pretty good equipment.
Well, Dave Blaney and others drove those cars and did well with them. Tubi, fastest way to stream all your favorite movies and shows, and it's totally free. Yep, seriously. Download Tubi now and enjoy a streaming service that is, for real, 100% free.
For the record, Clint, I only say that about you when you beat me.
Had to have been equipment.
All right, with Tyler Reddick in 8th and Austin Dillon in 10th from Richard Childress Racing, both benefited by the timing of that caution, and their director of competition, Andy Petrie, joins us.
Yeah, let's see if we can dial him up on the radio. Hey, Andy Petrie, this is the guys up at the Fox Sports booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you guys. How's it going?
Oh, man, it's going pretty good. Seen some great action out there, and two of your guys are putting together a pretty nice race. I think that caution worked in your favor, but tell us about the way the day's going. We saw where the 3 of Austin Dillon was really strong on one of those first runs, and then we've seen him fall back a little bit here. So tell us about what's going on with both your cars.
Yeah, Jeff, we're chasing it just a little bit here. You know, the conditions, the daytime racing's a little different than, you know, what our setup was here the last time at night. That caution for sure helped us because, you know, we were able to catch that, and it was tough because we saw those guys coming down pit road. And, you know, when you lose all that time to them, you know, you get real nervous. But, you know, that's the time that it's usually the most chance to have a caution because you got that disparity in speed. So it was definitely a break for us.
Well, I know it's so hard to say you planned it that way, but how close were you to coming down pit road? Were you hoping to stay out there and maybe catch a caution, and it actually worked out?
Well, what we had planned on doing was just making one pit stop, and the other guys that pitted, you saw that pitted early, we're going to make 2 pit stops out of that stage. So we were on our strategy. It just happened to work out that the caution came out for us.
Well, hey, great info. Thank you for getting us up to speed there. Maybe we'll check back in with you later.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
That's Andy Petrie with Richard Childress Racing. Martin Truex, who went 0 for 80 in his first short track races, has now led over 100 laps in 6 of the last 7 here. And the leaders are pitting. William Byron is in. Martin Truex and Denny Hamlin are on pit road. Just park that commercial because we've got action on pit road.
We don't need no stinking commercial. We got pit stops.
Jamie.
Yeah, right when you guys started throwing a break, they said, let's pit now. So the 11's coming. The 19 wanted to come as well. They want to fix their cars up a little bit. The 19 is turning better, but losing forward drive. The 11 losing forward drive. So they'll make those adjustments and put on some fresh tires. Regan?
Kyle Busch in the 18 car is going to pit as well with his Toyota teammates. That race car does not have lateral grip off the corner. It means it slides the back of the car as he goes off the corner. And Kevin Harvick will hit pit road as well. They continue to work on the center of that race car. They can't get it to turn in the middle. No rear grip into the corners, no rear grip off the corner. So a number of issues there. The 48 of Alex Bowman, he needs drive off the corners right now. Still lacking turn in the middle.
And Mike, honestly, I thought that was about 5 or 6 laps early. I thought they would go to about lap 191. That would split it dead in half, but they decided to come just a little early.
So Brad Keselowski has not been in, neither has Christopher Bell. What's going on with the 2 car, who is now our leader?
I'd be the only one taking this way, Brad, but I'm good with it if you are. I trust you, buddy.
Okay.
Well, certainly different in opinion and strategy. I like it, though. You know, you can't win these races without being edgy, without doing something different to set yourself apart.
So
Denny, an example of that.
Denny unlaps himself from Brad right there on the left of your screen.
And that's such a crucial pass right now, because the first thing you want to do is get back on the lead lap. You take that risk to come down pit road. Then the next thing you want to do is just hope this thing keeps going green, so those guys have to get to pit road.
So now we have the situation Andy Petrie talked about. You've got 5 cars out there that have not pitted, plus some lapped cars that have not, and everybody else rushing forward on fresh tires.
Man, how about this 11 car on pit road today? They have been phenomenal. 11.8, even bettering that time they had earlier at 11.9.
How about that consistency, huh?
And that's what gets you the lead. So a little frustration maybe from the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. on pit road, losing another spot.
Well, we're likely to get a few more pit stops, and we don't want you to miss those either. So how about we take this next break with Fox side by side.
If you printed out directions to get here today, you're in the right place. My seminars are a great tool to help young homeowners who are turning into their parents. Now remember, they're not programs, they're TV shows. You woke up early. No one cares. Yes?
So I was using something called Home Quote Explorer from Progressive to easily compare home insurance rates. Was I hashtagging?
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer.
Guess what? The waiter doesn't need to know your name.
I am tradition, passed down from the families that race to the ones that watch us every weekend.
You know, it's all I've ever known, racing.
I was fortunate to be in victory lane 20 years ago, and I'm here again.
I am meant to be passed down from one generation to the next. Because the only thing better than seeing a race is sharing it with someone. I am NASCAR.
Trust isn't built in a day. It's built over time. The early hours and the late nights. It's built by doing the work and pushing the limits every day. Because the promises we make are the promises we were built to keep.
During Ram Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2021 Ram 1500.
I am bumping, banging, and battling to the finish. I am the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I am NASCAR.
Yeah, Reggie, it's always tough having to say goodbye.
Whoa, hold up.
Oh, the honey butter chicken biscuit is $1.99 all month.
This is great. I'm never leaving now.
We made the deal too good.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's and get the breakfast you deserve.
Saturday, May 1st. Don't miss the return of former heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz as he takes on rugged veteran Chris Arreola.
You have got to be kidding me.
Plus a stacked card of Mexican firepower. Featuring Omar Figueroa versus Abel Ramos.
Oh my goodness!
Sebastian Fundora versus Jorge Cota.
What a fight!
And Jesus Ramos versus Javier Molina. Buy now on foxsports.com/PPV and watch it on any screen you want.
As Kurt Busch makes his pit stop, then there was one. Everybody has made a second stop in this stage on the lead lap at least, except Brad Keselowski. And he is our leader. He's up 12.5 seconds on Denny Hamlin. Ryan Blaney also has not made that second stop. We see he was back on lap 138. Interesting strategy, Larry.
Well, it is, Mike, because we still have 38 laps to go to the end of the stage, and right now Denny Hamlin is catching Brad Keselowski over a second a lap. Hamlin is 11 seconds behind, but if a caution comes out anytime over the next few laps, everybody's going to come to pit road. Keselowski, Blaney, and everybody that just made their green flag pit stop. So this it's a little risky. You can see how much faster those new tires are with Brad Keselowski and the two being on old tires. But if they catch that caution like they did earlier, they're in the catbird seat again.
That right there is what you got to be careful of, and it's hard to do the math on because he got caught up in that traffic. Everybody on tires all of a sudden starts putting you in a situation where you lose even more time. Got to be careful to count in the fact that you're going to be racing cars on lesser tires.
And to your point, he lost 2 or 3 tenths just that last lap because of it. Regan?
Well, guys, just a little bit of insight into the radio. Jeremy Bullins just came on the radio for Brad Keselowski and said, Brad, whatever happens here, we are going to have an extra set of tires for the final stage of this race. Might be what they were thinking, this long game with this 2-car. Jamie.
Ryan Blaney, as you mentioned, another one that's only had 3 stops total today instead of 4 like everyone else except his teammate. They are going to run this out to the end of the stage. And Blaney right now saying, car is not bad. He just feels like they're not going anywhere, not making up any time anywhere.
Well, Brad Keselowski right now is being passed by the hot dog man. Everybody, every car out there has driven right on by past Brad Keselowski right here.
Yeah, I don't see this being the winning stage strategy, but if it gives them an extra set of tires later, that could be a big benefit. Here's those new tires on Denny Hamlin versus the old tires on Brad Keselowski. Oh, man, look at that.
Yeah.
Talk about launching off the corner.
Yeah, Jeff, you never know if we get an outbreak of cautions in that final stage, but even the drivers that just made their green flag pit stops, and we're right past the halfway, I mean, they still have 4 sets of tires left. The trends show you don't even come close to using all your allotment of tires. They had 9 sets, including what they started the race on. They basically made 4 trips to pit road. You still have 4 sets left.
Yeah, unless we get a string of cautions like we saw last week at Martinsville in the last 50 or 100 laps, that'd be about the only thing that would cause them to use up all those tires.
Larry's glass is half full. I like that.
Always. See that good telemetry down at the bottom. At this stage, if you're the number 2 car, Brad Keselowski, you're barely even getting wide open. You might not get to full throttle on any of these laps right now on those old tires.
Well, it's definitely a pretty lonely feeling out there because you're helpless. Tires are completely wore out. Everybody around you is on new tires. They're putting you in situations you don't want to be in. You're just trying to find a hole so you can get back in your rhythm and make the best lap times possible for your guys, and you just can't do it.
And you've got to make 30 more laps to the end of this stage.
That's a lot.
Well, and the last time we were talking about this is only, what, 5 or 6 laps gone by, and it was 12 seconds. Now it's only down to about 1.5 seconds.
That's because of that traffic that he's in. He can't get down and run that rhythm.
When was the last time you saw this, that the leader of the race was the moving chicane?
Maybe here in Richmond.
I was going to say Richmond.
Jeff, I never questioned how you won 93 races, but right now, Brad Keselowski, the most wide open throttle he's getting around this 3/4 mile track is about 80–85%. He can't even get 100%.
And he is no longer the leader. Denny Hamlin has retaken the front spot and driven off. Keselowski still 0.8 of a second up on Martin Truex. That number's coming down quickly.
Well, this is where this gets precarious, because if the caution doesn't come out, you were in 4th place before all these pit sequences started. Will you be able to even maintain being in the top 5, or possibly go a lap down if Hamlin keeps putting these kind of laps together?
Well, I tell you what it does, it sends that signal to everybody. It ain't just you learning this lesson. It's everybody on pit road sees you doing it. Like, hey, whatever we do in that segment, do not do that.
And the problem is their bed is made. They can't pit now because they would go almost 2 laps down. You've made this commitment. You're stuck with it.
I don't like the sheets, Larry. We need a different bed.
Boy, Denny Hamlin picking him up, putting him down as he puts Eric Jones now 2 laps down. That leaves only 5 cars 1 lap down from Ross Chastain back to Austin Cindric in 21st are the 1 lap down cars. Daniel Suarez overcoming a pit road penalty back at lap 30 for an uncontrolled tire, and Regan, he has made a really great rebound.
Mike, he really has, and that's something crew chief Travis Mack pointed out earlier today to me. He said, we have got to clean up our races. We got the speed. That's the tough part. We've got to clean up what we do on the racetrack. Not necessarily a clean day. I guess if you're not going to have a clean day, just have the mistake really early so you can make up for it.
And thanks to Travis for that front bumper cam placement on the 99. the Coca-Cola Flavors can for Suarez. All right, Denny Hamlin back in command at his home racetrack, but a long way to go in Richmond. World Truck Series drivers have a chance to win $500,000 in extra prize money with the Triple Truck Challenge presented by Wampley. Tune in each week on FS1 and see which driver takes home the big cash prizes. Here in the NASCAR Cup race, the Toyota Owners 400. 181 laps to go, but most importantly, 16 to go in now 15 in stage 2. And the big question is, can 5th place Brad Keselowski hang on to the lead lap until we get to the end of the stage?
Well, if you do the math, and depending on some traffic with our leader, Denny Hamlin, you're looking at a second, a little over a second that last time by from our leader, Denny Hamlin, to Brad Keselowski. So every lap, basically, Denny's gaining another second to get back to the rear bumper, possibly put that 2-car Brad Keselowski down a lap.
I am not liking this bed we made ourselves at all. But I am really glad that they made this, call and went for this gamble, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. You're after stage points. You never know. If that caution came out, that's the smartest man here. And it's that easy, that quick, and it can change that.
Now, Ryan Blaney, the other driver on that strategy, has gone 1 lap down. He is not in the free pass position. That is 16th place Kurt Busch, 1 spot ahead of Blaney.
Big time racing, trying to keep from going a lap down here. I saw coming off of turn 4 here, the 9 really cut your leader, Denny Hamlin, off. It was close.
Well, this could be a heated battle right here because Suarez and the 9 of Chase Elliott are battling for that position to stay on the lead lap. Try to keep Denny Hamlin behind him.
Listening to you say that, I want to give some praise to this Suarez, this Trackhouse team. It's been a long time since I can remember a team coming in as a startup team and being able to run and compete. You said he is racing door-to-door with a 9. Last year's championship team, he's racing door-to-door with at Richmond. Yeah. Pretty awesome.
And I'm going to give a lot of credit to the crew chief, Travis Mack. His past experience from Hendrick Motorsports, Junior Motorsports. He's done an excellent job organizing this race team and putting some fast race cars out there.
The other thing, what they're doing is helping Brad Keselowski in the 2-ball. They need to be battling those guys, racing this leader, Denny Hamlin. That is everything they want to see.
10 to go in the stage. I would say Keselowski is safe right now, but Hamlin, if he keeps tiptoeing through traffic, is going to have Martin Truex Jr. right on his bumper. Jamie?
And the team is keeping Denny Hamlin informed of that. And right now, I think the 2 is the carrot that's dangling out there for Denny. They said if this stays green, you will lap the 2. So he's keeping on. The car is really good right now. And just a reminder, this is Denny Hamlin's home track. He's won here 3 times, but he has not done so since 2016. How awesome would it be for Denny to get the first win of the season right here?
Hamlin, or rather Keselowski, is 6 seconds ahead of Hamlin on the racetrack with 8 to go in the stage.
Handful, though. You would watch and see how hard he races him right here.
I just never mind. It just doesn't have the car that Hamlin has right now. He just Hamlin is on rails.
But I tell you, if you're Jeremy Bullins right here, you're just praying. The guys like Chase Elliott, Ryan Newman right here, hold him up, keep him mired in traffic.
I think he's okay. I think he's got sufficient space on Hamlin, not necessarily in time, but in cars separating them.
Well,
it's going to come right down to that final lap, I believe, Mike.
I'm pretty good at reading people, and old Jeremy looked pretty nervous on that box.
Guys, you see Denny Hamlin in 11. One of our items we talked about in the pre-race was power rankings of the teams on pit road. Denny Hamlin's last pit stop at lap 184 under green, that pit crew, that was the 2nd fastest 4-tire stop of the season.
All right, I take it back. They're 3 wide into 1 with Keselowski on the outside. Davison and Dillon
and then look
passing the 2.
And there's a huge run by Denny Hamlin to get by a lap car down the back straightaway. He sees that 2 car out there, and if he can get one of his fiercest competitors here at this racetrack a lap down, advantage, huge advantage for the
I hate
team.
to say it,
It's
boys.
over,
We're
boys.
fixing to make a mess out of this bed we made. Oh no, there he is.
And there's nothing Brad Keselowski can do right now.
Yes,
Just
now,
roll
wait a
tires.
minute.
Go a lap down.
There's one thing he can do.
Boys, wait a minute. You forget about the free pass. Keselowski's in the free pass position right now.
Yeah, but he's just, either way, he's going to lose a ton of track position, but he's also got to deal with the 8 and the 9.
Oh, crap. There goes the 8. Well, too bad for that strategy.
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick moves up into the free pass spot.
Arriving gate 2, gate 3.
I'd say it's over and over, but we're not there yet.
It's never over.
Nope. It's only temporary. I mean, Brad had to lay over for all that traffic, faster traffic coming by him, and Hamlin had no trouble catching him and driving on by.
Well, that's the X
2 to
factor.
go.
That's the X factor that Clint brought up. It'd be one thing if he was just making clean laps out there, but when you're also having to deal with other cars that have fresher tires, now it's sort of a double whammy about how much time you lose.
And you
per
can't
lap.
calculate that. Easy to put the math to just regular lap times, what you're doing. You have no clue the impact that those cars have on tires. You know, how do you gauge that? It's a guesstimate.
All right, battle for the free pass coming here as we're on the final lap of stage number 2. There is Hamlin.
The battles with Chase Elliott and Kurt Busch.
Man, I'll tell you who got some points there for the first time. Eric Almirola and Matty D's up there in 6th place. Those are
guys.
2 names that needed a big run.
Guess who has now won 3 of the last 4 stages at Richmond? That fellow right there, Denny Hamlin, with the Gibbs cars of Hamlin and Truex pretty much holding court so far at Richmond. Regan.
Well, as we see the cars peel off the pit road, Kevin Harvick will hit the very first pit stall. His race car has been too tight in the center all day long. They haven't been able to get it to turn for him. Joey Logano, he says he's fighting everything right now. He did say he likes the turn of his race car, otherwise not happy in the 48. Alex Bowman, he's too free in and it won't turn. Jamie.
Denny Hamlin's led 106 laps today, a little loose into 3, but he said it's actually a good thing. Where he wants help is late exit, just getting it off the corner a little bit more than 19. Martin Truex Jr. rear tires, once they wear, he can't turn it. Drive off in center is gone. So basically wants a little help everywhere, guys.
All right, top 3 come off pit road. Just the way they came in. Where's everybody else?
Well, there's a lot of lap cars in between these guys as they hit pit road.
Well, right now, Hamlin and Truex have both led the same number of laps. They both had their chance at the front.
Yeah, well, we've seen Denny Hamlin. We've talked to him win those first 2 stages. Let's talk to the guy that's finished second, Martin Truex Jr. Hey, Martin Truex Jr., this is Jeff and Mike and Clint up here in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, looking very reminiscent of last week at Martinsville. Denny Hamlin, very strong, your teammate, but you went and stole that one away from him in that final stage. How about today?
Yeah, we'll see, Jeff. You know, it's just working on it here, trying to get it the way we want. I feel like we just kind of been back and forth there. And, you know, 11's been really fast on pit road, so that's been a little bit of a disadvantage. But overall, I feel like we're close. We just can't quite get 3 and 4 the way we need to. We'll keep working on it here.
Well, hey, if it makes you feel any better, nobody that's ever swept the first 2 stages have gone on to win, so you got a chance. Good luck.
Yeah, there's always a chance. Appreciate it, guys. Have fun up there.
Wound, add salt. No, that's for margaritas. Hamlin and Truex leading in Richmond. Get to know your NASCAR home tracks across North America with the Advanced MyTrack Challenge. Visit advancedmytrack.com. View each track stories. Vote for your track of choice to be the 2021 Advanced MyTrack Challenge winner. Here in this region, South Boston Speedway opened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. big opportunity for a track. Somebody's going to get $50,000 to the track. Make sure you go vote for your local.
So 2 penalties, one for Alex Bowman. That tire that just got rolled out of the pit box. The air hose hung. So a penalty for Bowman. And then Ricky Stenhouse had a piece of equipment that interfered with another team's stop. So Stenhouse will go to the tail of the cars 1 lap down, and the 48 for Bowman will restart 12th, tail into the lead lap.
You know, that's 2 weeks in a row where we've seen that hose get caught under the front splitter of a race car. Ryan Blaney last week at Martinsville. So much goes into that whip of that hose when you come over the wall as a pit crew member.
And it's not an exact science either.
Here they come to the Geico restart zone, including Chase Elliott, who was the free pass on the caution to end stage 2.
Hey, how about, oh, he thought about it. That was obviously orchestrated almost exactly. Now he's blocking the inside. Orchestrated almost exactly like you do on a super speedway. Letting the outside guy get down, your teammate working well together. Kevin Harvick was the caveat to that. Here comes a dive bombing. Kyle Busch right here.
These guys are ganging up on Mark Truex Jr.
And they were 4 wide in the back. Everybody on new tires, everybody trying to get some.
Kyle Busch putting his name up in there.
Shaking those frustrations away. Obviously pit crews keeping you in the deal. And you're learning. You're listening to your teammates, your air pressures, your adjustments, keeping up with them. That's all the benefit of having 2 cars as strong as they are. You can follow suit and do exactly what they're doing, find the same success.
Well, right now you've got all 4 JGR car Toyotas put up there in the top 6.
You know, and again, Joey Logano, his short run speed, he can run right there with the 11 of Denny Hamlin and 19 of Martin Truex, but he can't do it for long. Good to see Matt running up front. Needed a strong run. Been beat up pretty good this year. Got that 21 car running up front.
Logano, another look on the inside.
And you see Denny, he moves up, gives him that inside lane. He's just going to keep working that outside lane, overheating those tires and brakes in the 22 car as he tries to make this pass happen on the inside.
There's the difference. Drive off.
And here comes Mark Truex Jr.'s drive off of turn 4.
And a dive bomb getting into turn 1. Yeah, I've got to give it to him, bud. Inside. But there's that real estate. See, this corner, when you get off at 2, that wall straight in the back straight, it just cuts the racetrack off. If you can get in position right there, you take the real estate away. They don't have that track to move up, get around you. This is the move you try to do, though. See, he can get down on the inside. Going to give it to him, get around there off of 2, just like we saw the lap before. He doesn't have that track to move up and be able to put the throttle down. Has to lift a little bit. Way the 22 goes.
Clinton, I was a little surprised. I thought Truex had a run to the outside, might be able to get all the way up alongside the 22 going into 1 under the brakes. Chose not to. Chose to do that crossover, go back to the bottom, and it didn't work out.
Well, and he was trying to do exactly what the 22's doing to him. Get to his outside, get to that right rear, take that racetrack away from him, that ability to move up and utilize that exit speed.
So Larry, after seeing what happened to Keselowski in stage 2 on the one-stop strategy, what do you want to do in this final stage?
I think once again, Mike, you have to split it in thirds. We went back racing with 153 laps to go. That's 51 laps a run for 3 times. So somewhere probably between lap 295 and 300, 105 laps to go. That's when you come your first time. And then the chess match, when do you come for that second stop if we stay green? Because every lap you come in and get those fresh tires, that's about a 2-second advantage you'll have over the old tires per lap.
138 laps to go in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where sometimes things get just a little too close.
Best season ever.
131 laps to go on the uniquely shaped 3/4 mile Richmond Raceway. Denny Hamlin leading Joey Logano by 0.6 of a second. Well, low-hanging fruit. Who are the Credit One Bank ones to watch?
Well, Mike, listen, Martin Truex Jr. finished second in his previous wins here at Richmond, second twice in Stage 2. Guess what? He finished second today in Stage 2. I'm picking Martin Truex Jr. to go back-to-back here today.
Jeff, Virginia's for lovers. I'm giving out the love today. I'm not trying to pick a race winner. Matt DiBenedetto, if it could happen to a race team, it has happened to them in these first 8 races. He's looking for his first top 10 of the year, his first top 10 at Richmond, and he's sitting there solid at 6 right now.
Guys, are you not watching this race? Denny Hamlin, the 11 car. He's my man. FedEx, we're racing with heavy hearts this weekend at home. And Virginia boy, 3 wins here. Denny Hamlin's my guy.
Clay, I would love to agree with you there, but Kyle Busch, who has 6 wins already at this racetrack, he has been quiet on the radio. They finally got him to where he's happier with that race car. He's my guy at the end of the race. Kyle Busch gets number 7.
Like DiBenedetto, Eric Almirola has not had a top 10 finish this season. That changes today. He finished 8th here last year, gets his first top 10 of the year this afternoon. And those are your Credit One Bank ones to watch.
I like this camera angle. I like watching these cars slide the back of that car off the turn 2 over here, trying to stay out of the wall. Great shot.
Look down that backstretch. Have you ever seen a racetrack with cabanas? Well, Richmond has them down the backstretch. They were each given for the day to a lucky Toyota owner to bring his family and do a little tailgating out there under the cabanas.
That's cool.
They're having a great time.
I like that.
Yeah, we call those tents in Kansas, Jeff. And
yeah.
I know up there in the Hamptons stuff where you're used to hanging out, there's cabanas up around
Definitely
there.
some cabanas.
Pool boy, Regan.
Mike, we saw the problem the 48 car had on that last pit stop, had to fall to the back for the penalty. Great recovery for him. Listen to this audio.
I'm sorry, I gotta go. Let them know we're coming, Kevin. Oh, they know. Yeah, you tell them, Kevin. Go get them. Go yell at a bunch of spotters. Nobody likes me up here anyway, so it's fine. Nobody likes me down here.
That's great.
Oh, man.
Guess you got to know who you are.
That's right. Exactly.
Nobody likes me up here.
Hey, man, you're not out there on the racetrack to make friends.
100%. Bring your friends with you.
Well, everybody in the top 5 right now has won at Richmond. Between Hamlin, Logano, Truex, Kyle Busch, and Harvick, 16 Richmond victories in that group.
So what you're saying is cream rises to the top?
Jamie?
How about Chase Elliott in the 9, the 48's teammate? He is hanging on to that lucky dog position right now. It has been a struggle, just tight in the middle. And then racing for the lucky dog earlier, he had some right rear damage. They had a long pit stop. They're trying to go in the right direction, guys, but it just hasn't been there so far today.
This is what champions are all about, though. Hanging in there, hanging tough, staying in the game. He could just as easily be with their car that they have today, 2 laps down, we had that caution that shook things up. Keeping your cool, staying in the game and working together, trying to figure this out and get the most out of a day. That's what championships are all about.
Well, and listen, by hanging tough in there, they've stayed on the lead lap, and you don't want to have damage to that right rear quarter panel or corner of the bumper, because that's a critical area for the aerodynamics. But hey, one more time down pit road, they might be able to even improve it a little bit more.
Christopher Bell, Eric Almirola battling for 7th.
Man, what a great drive by Eric Almirola. I mean, what has this guy not been through this year so far? Just so badly want to see both him and Matt DiBenedetto put together a great result here.
Well, they're nose to tail right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm telling you, that 10 car is extremely fast right now. This could be easily be a top 5 run for them. Needed.
Boy, badly.
Got to start. You got to stop the bleeding, and then you got to start digging, right? Dig yourself out of this hole.
And it's one lap at a time, one race at a time, one top 10 at a time, and then hopefully those turn into top 5s. And maybe even a win.
Top 12 cars on the lead lap. Brad Keselowski in the free pass position, the first car. With 111 laps to go, let's update the Coca-Cola Racing family. Denny Hamlin is your race leader. Joey Logano is second. Austin Dillon making a green flag pit stop, and so is Daniel Suarez. Ryan Newman, 31st. So green flag stops have begun. Regan.
On the right side, you see Austin Dillon. They have been fighting a loose race car all day long, have not been able to get that car under control. And Daniel Suarez in the 99, that race car's been good on entry, good enough that they can free it up more for the middle and help his turn.
Kyle Larson in along with Alex Bowman and William Byron. Here comes Chase Briscoe and more.
Yeah, Mike, once one comes, you just cannot be that far behind, because again, 2+ seconds a lap you're giving up.
Corey LaJoie, Cole Custer, Christopher Bell now, and Kurt Busch in the pit lane. So is Tyler Reddick. But most of the lead lap cars staying out. Nope, here's Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Regan.
Kyle Busch continues to have a strong run today after they fix that race car up. Right now he's as free as he can be with it. He can't have it any looser, but he still needs the front to work just a little bit better on that car. Kevin Harvick in the 4 car has been absolutely plowing all day long. Fifth place, a good day, but he says he's plowing.
And here's the leader, Denny Hamlin on pit road, right behind Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher. Jamie.
Denny Hamlin, a heck of a run today. Just little things here and there that he's wanted improved, and they've done a pretty good job. He was a little tight to get started there, and that's how they close the gap, but they're good. The 12, Ryan Blaney, you see a big adjustment there. The right rear 4 tires here for Blaney, who started off the day pretty solid, and he's just kind of fallen back, Regan.
Joey Logano continuing to have a nice run right now. The drive off of the corner is what's costing him the most amount of time. Can't be any tighter, but he needs more drive off as well. And the 2 car of Brad Keselowski, that car is turning better right now. They went too far with it, though. He's just a little bit too loose right now.
All the Penske cars have been in.
I really thought somebody might, and Kyle Busch was one of the first ones, but I thought the 19, you got Truex there. Jamie, let's go down to you.
Martin Truex Jr., the only repeat winner so far this year. 3 and 4, not where they wanted, but just like Denny Hamlin, they're very similar, just little things that they've been nitpicking through the corner to make these cars better.
But what I was going to say is I expected maybe the 19 of Truex, the 22 of Logano to try to short pit to get ahead of Denny Hamlin, our leader. Instead, they actually stayed out a lap or 2. You see Kyle Busch, he was one of the first of the leaders to come onto pit road. He actually gained a spot.
Oh, Martin Truex too fast entering.
Oh boy, that's what you can't have happen under these green flag stops.
He will have to make a drive down pit road at pit road speed.
Red.
Here he comes in.
Red, line down.
And that will cost him at least a lap.
One of the things I noticed right there, if you saw when he came in even that time, he was pretty low, and goes back to, you know, everybody running the outside of that thing and where you set your lights, right, to hit your timing lines and things like that. He was low and then migrated to the outside. It could have been right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're dealing in hundreds and thousands of a second. So all it takes is a little bit of a lower line, and that could do it.
First speeding penalty this year for Truex. Section 9 on pit road is where he was above the legal limit.
And unfortunately, it's the only one, you know, other than 11 that he can't outrun. You know, don't beat yourself.
Number of drivers, including Brad Keselowski, locked him up. A lot of tire smoke coming out of pit road. There's Bubba Wallace doing much the same.
He tried to get down to the apron, but he carried too much speed, started locking the left front tire up. Almost didn't make it.
And that's the difference in how people drive that. You know, I would always try to get on the apron and just stay on there, because when I tried to make that transition, stay on the track and get down, exactly what you saw Bubba Wallace do right there, the car doesn't want to be on one or the other. It wants to be on one or the other, not splitting.
You can see that transition to that flat apron, and then We've got that box lit up with a cone.
Yeah.
These drivers don't have that luxury. It's just an orange box that's painted on the racetrack or on the apron.
But it's the location. Again, you got to think, your tires are completely wore out, your brakes are hot, now you're asking way more out of them than you felt in the last 20, 30, 50 laps, right? Now you get down in there and you can't get stopped. You lock the tires up and slide through.
We mentioned Brad Keselowski locking him up coming onto pit road. We'll show you that. 99 laps to go in Richmond. Denny Hamlin out front of Joey Logano by 2 seconds. Sports has been significant. Learn how you can help Fox Sports and Good Sports restore play for at-risk youth and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Visit goodsports.org. 91 laps to go in Richmond, and Martin Truex did not go a lap down. Serving his penalty, coming down pit road, came out in front of his Joe Gibbs teammate Denny Hamlin and has stayed there. Last car on the lead lap in 12th.
Well, how many times have we talked about you can make small mistakes early in a race, but when you get down to that final stage, 90 laps to go, you just cannot afford to have those kinds of mistakes happen.
Well, you're just going to have to be lucky with cautions or something like that, afford you the opportunity to dig yourself out of it. But yeah, you're right. Timing is definitely not on their side.
Let's have a look at our USAA biggest movers since the restart. Alex Bowman up 4 spots. Kyle Larson 2 laps down, up 3. Daniel Suarez has picked up a couple, so has Cole Custer and Christopher Bell.
Again, digging yourself out of a hole. The 48 of Alex Bowman still paying the price of that pit road penalty, slowly but surely, and probably a top 5 car.
Tyler Reddick goes 2 laps down to Denny Hamlin.
I think I'm noticing moreover today than I've felt that I experienced on this racetrack, Jeff, is not being able to find much grip up high. Usually I use, and you heard me talk about that earlier, that those hashes right there, if you put your right sides right on them, you could kind of find some grip right there and usually be able to pull the wheel back down, get straight up off, so you can put the throttle down. On both ends of the racetrack, actually, don't see a lot of that today.
Yeah, in my experience is when you see that working, it's usually a tire that lays a lot of rubber down in the groove, and so you can start finding a little bit of fresher pavement as you move up the racetrack and find a little grip for a short period of time. And we're just not seeing a lot of rubber being laid down on this
racetrack. It is interesting. It doesn't even, from here, it doesn't even look like a lap's been ran on it.
Tell you what, could get interesting here, as we keep going. Kyle Busch has been consistently in our third place, putting some of the best laps together the last several laps. I know Denny's working his way through a little bit of lap traffic, but if Kyle Busch can close that gap, I really think he's got something for our leader right now.
Well, that's the thing that's so unique about him. Most drivers can't take that negative energy that we heard earlier in the race and stay with it and turn it into something at the end. It just usually snowballs and keeps getting worse and worse. He is the exception to that rule.
No doubt about it. He almost thrives on it, and every time I'm like, why, man? Why put yourself in that position? How is that productive? But yet, for whatever reason, it seems to motivate him and work very well.
4th place, Christopher Bell passing Kevin Harvick, and behind him Brad traffic down in turn 1. Sorts itself out there with Alfredo and
Logano.
right there.
Traffic has gained on Denny Hamlin.
Logano now just half a second back. There he is. 76 laps to go. We'll have Larry's trends of the race right after this.
fender bender. Take one.
Tonight's matchup, me versus an ugly fender bender. If Ike and Eke got a win, it's going to be a miracle, baby.
Mr. Vitale, it wouldn't be a miracle because Geico gives you a team of experts to help manage your claim.
It's going to be a nail-biter.
No, the Geico team is there for you 24/7.
Geico is awesome, baby. Too much?
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
These are the people who work on the front lines. They need a network that's built right. That's why we created Verizon Frontline, the advanced networking technology for first responders. Built on America's most reliable network. Built for real interoperability and built for 5G. It's America's #1 network in public safety. Verizon Frontline, built right for first responders.
And Toyota wins again.
Oh, hey, Pat.
Toyota, let's go places.
From the WWE Thunderdome, after Seth Rollins' shotgun attack on Cesaro, who's left to oppose the head of the table? A new era of SmackDown has begun. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
Don't miss the return of former champion Andy Ruiz as he takes on veteran Chris Arreola. Plus, a stacked card of Mexican firepower.
Oh, my goodness!
Saturday, May 1st on pay-per-view.
Are you researching the Little Caesars thin crust? Mm-hmm. Do all the toppings really go right to the edge? Mm-hmm. Is that gonna put us out of business? Mm-hmm. We still have a bigger ball at 4?
Mm-hmm. We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. The extra most bestest thin crust, just $6.49.
Pizza, pizza.
I am no longer in the shadow. I am the new horizon. I am Chase Elliott. I am NASCAR.
69 laps to go in Richmond. Here's your Progressive race summary as you watch the battle for the lead unfold right here. Denny Hamlin has led the most laps, 195 today. 5 different leaders, including Joey Logano, who's going for it right here. 13 lead changes, 11 cars on the lead lap. 4 caution flags. What can we expect, Larry?
Well, maybe this will work like it did at Martinsville last Sunday, but I went back and looked at the last 7 Richmond races, spring and fall. And since we've been doing stage racing, the last caution, 329, 70, 71 laps to go. But 3 times in the last 25 laps, 2 overtime finishes. I think we got the verge of a lead change, though.
Almost. Jamie.
This update, Denny Hamlin, he said he has a right rear shake like a wheel hop into 3. Other than that, he hasn't said much. Remember, they took an aggressive approach last week. They're doing it today to try to hook up the corner, and it is paying off. 276 laps led last week, 197 today. Lead change, Regan.
Well, you see the battle for the lead right here as Joey Logano is going past Denny Hamlin currently. They made an adjustment on that car in the last run, specifically to make it better on the long run. Clearly, that is working right now. Mike?
Ryan Preece trying to get one of his laps back. Now 4 down after being 5. And Logano now on point, trying to pull away.
Oh, man, I'm so impressed with what Joey Logano and Paul Wolfe have done to this 22 Ford. I mean, that thing was a great short run car throughout this race, but now he's got the long run speed. I wonder, is it the adjustment or just Denny Hamlin's problem causing him to lose some speed?
65 to go. And watch from our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Drive always discovers possibility. Goodyear, more driven.
And just like we saw last week, this track's changing too. A lot of cloud cover right now. It's cooling off. You know, you're getting up there on time. Everything's changing right now, and that could be playing right in the 22's favor.
You know what, guys? Speaking of Goodyear, the numbers say you pit between 50 to 55 to go to split this stage into thirds, but I feel like somebody's going to roll the dice and come here in the next few laps trying to get the jump with those 4 fresh Goodyear tires.
Micah McDowell is in, though he is 28th, several laps down, 5th place battle.
Well, what's interesting about that, Larry, is our, Denny Hamlin, who was our leader, he came a lap sooner than Logano. Logano stayed out 1 extra lap and has 1 lap fresher tires. I don't know how much of a difference that made, but you would think if somebody's going to try to go after Logano, they're going to have to short pit to do it.
Hey, and capitalize on them 11-9, 11-8 pit stops that we were seeing out of that 11 car.
Of the lead lap cars, Truex was the last one to come in on the last cycle at lap 296.
Well, remember, that's when he had to do his penalty. He had actually pitted,
right.
I think he actually pitted about the same lap as Logano.
24 tried to pit right there and missed pit road.
Well, we talk about how
to go back around.
How tough this entry is to make, especially under green with those hot old tires.
And shooting yourself on the foot. Trying to do exactly what we were just talking about is capitalizing on making up some track position here. You can see just couldn't get it wound up. Had to stay up on the racetrack, grab another gear and get going.
You really have 2 options there. Stay on the banking as long as possible, brake while the car's on the banking, and then turn left and get on pit road, or hit that apron early and get all 4 tires on the apron. Regan?
The 24, William Byron, finally makes it to a spit stall right there. A little mistake from his perspective. Too loose on that race car. Biggest issue, continuing to fight that, but a solid run all day long. The 48 of Alex Bowman, his teammate. That race car right now is just a little bit too tight on the splitter at this moment.
Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Christopher Bell in the pit lane, along with Kurt Busch, Matt DiBenedetto, and here comes Logano. Regan.
The 20 car of Christopher Bell. That race car is way too loose on entry. He's been working with his brakes to try and fix that. Joey Logano, that last run, he was tighter through the middle, but he was so much better with his drive off. You saw the difference it made as he went up and took the lead.
Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick in. So is Eric Almirola, Chris Buescher, DiBenedetto down pit lane, Ryan Blaney, and here comes Denny Hamlin.
Well, Denny did the exact opposite of what Logano did the last time he stayed out an extra lap.
Jamie?
Remember, Denny Hamlin had that right rear shake like a wheel hop into 3. He has 2 sets of tires sitting right now. This set will go on, and then they have that 1 extra if they need it. The caution comes out here in the closing laps.
Oh, 18. That will be a penalty. He got under the box, but he was going way, way too fast.
That was almost a put it out.
Yeah.
All right, here's Kyle Busch. You have to have all 4 tires inside the orange box, and he doesn't do it.
Nope, that's going to be a penalty.
But honestly, I think he was probably speeding too. But and his black mark tells the story.
But that's what I was talking about. To maximize your speed getting to pit road, you do it just like that, out on the banking, and then try to slow the car down. He just couldn't get it slowed down fast enough.
Truex pits from the lead. Jamie.
Heck of a job by Martin Truex Jr. to stay on the lead lap after that last penalty. A 4-tire stop here for him. Hasn't said much on the radio about his car handling since the last stop.
Kyle Busch is called for a commitment line violation, and he will have to do the drive of shame down pit road.
Man, and unfortunate timing on that too. You're going to have to hope. The only thing you can do is hope that a caution comes out.
Well, right now, the first car 1 lap down is Ricky Stenhouse in 11th. And here comes Kyle to serve the penalty.
Well, you got to give him credit for one thing. He was going for it.
That's right. Had 1 chance to try to win it, and that was it. But still 54 laps to go, and a lot can happen.
Unfortunately, he's going to go a lap down here. Here comes our leader, Joey Logano. Going to be tough to make that up this stage of the race.
And it's such a tough decision right there. As a race car, you know that Kyle Busch is going to be aggressive, ultra aggressive on something like that. But is the juice worth the squeeze? And I was always conservative on these green flag pit stops like that because I didn't want to get on that radio and tell them guys, man, I'm sorry. I knew better.
Now, don't return all the presents just yet. Kyle is in the free pass position. If we get a caution, he's right back on the lead lap.
If
ifs and nuts. How's that go?
But it goes back to the conversation of being aggressive and when to be aggressive and when not to. And it's such a fine line. It's particularly on these green flag pit stops. And it's not just on the driver, by the way.
Right.
It's those guys doing the pit stops and everything else. They call it the money stop for a reason. It's got to be on point if you want the money.
Ricky Stenhouse has made his pit stop, so he's now no longer in the free pass spot. Kyle Busch is with 50 to go. Sunday on Fox, we all head for the fastest speedway on earth. That's Talladega Superspeedway. Race day coverage for the Geico 500 begins at 12:30 Eastern on FS1, continues at 1:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Let's have a look at our lead lap cars. Joey Logano has been out in front 5 times. Total of only 18 laps so far, but right now he maintains a 1-second lead.
Denny Hamlin here, second place, put down the fastest laps of anybody on the track right now, trying to run down our leader, Joey Logano.
Christopher Bell in third. He is 12 seconds back. And Alex Bowman finds himself in fourth place after an up and down day.
There, it shows you right there, that graph. It's definitely been an up and down day, but great fight here, putting it all together at the end of this race for Alex Bowman. Tell you what, Harv, man, this guy, even when they're struggling a little bit, they just find a way to get themselves in the top 5. Shows you how much depth he has in his driving and this team has.
Champion.
3-time Richmond winner.
And I thought those glasses were for the dirt track. He's running them every weekend, Kevin Harvick. And how about William Byron here? Had that issue come to pit road, but nice recovery. 6th place.
Eric, and such a needed, well run right here. Needs a top 10. Start the momentum back. Certainly has it going on right here.
Martin Truex has recovered from this speeding penalty, but finds himself in 8th, 22 seconds back. His lap times are a 1/10.5 quicker than Joey Logano, but he's got a lot of distance to make up.
And how about Matty D? Another guy we talked about, Almirola, needing a good run. They've had a rough start to this season. Solid day for Wood Brothers in this 21 car.
And we're right back around to your leader, Joey Logano. Working hard to put Ryan Newman.
But Denny Hamlin.
This battle is heating up.
Yes, it is.
Hamlin is right there for the lead with 42 laps to go, and you'll see it all as we take you Fox side by side.
An F-150 isn't an F-150 because of the name on the tailgate. It's an F-150 because it's built for tough, built to haul more, built to tow more, for the people who count on it. Because they know that brawn can get the job done, but it takes brains and brawn to get it done right. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
I'll be observing your safe driving abilities, play your cards right, and you could be in for a tasty discount. Let's roll. Hey, check it out. One time I tripped on the sidewalk over here.
And a high of 89 degrees.
Oh, oh! Who just gives away wood?
The Snapshot app from Progressive rewards you for driving safe and driving less.
There's an app.
Save money.
Beth. Well, that came out of nowhere.
Dispatch 118 is on scene. Let's move.
Fox tomorrow. They're tearing our family apart. TV's epic hit drama 911 returns with all new heart-stopping episodes.
Car's driving the wrong way on the freeway. Dispatch, I need another 10 units here ASAP.
How many people have to die tonight? She was drunk.
It's all happening so fast.
We're right here. We got you.
This is it.
911 returns tomorrow on Fox.
Sarah shopped for the lowest mortgage rate and chose AmeriSave. The one choice she'll never regret, unlike buying a do-it-yourself orthodontics kit or marrying Eddie. Visit AmeriSave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings.
Look, I know you want to make a difference somehow, but this is a big deal.
I want to make decisions that have an impact. So, Mom, what do you think?
If you want to be a winner, then get a turkey footlong from Subway. That's oven-roasted turkey, piled high with crisp veggies on freshly baked bread. So let's get out there and get those footlongs.
Now at Subway, buy 1 footlong in the app and get 150% off. Subway, eat fresh.
I am a driver with a dream. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
36 laps to go. Joey Logano out in front of Denny Hamlin by 3/4 of a second. Christopher Bell another 12 seconds back. Martin Truex, who with Hamlin have each led a quarter or more of this race. Hamlin's led half of it, recovering from a speeding penalty and back in 8th place. 9 cars still on the lead lap. The last time Hamlin led this many laps at Richmond, he went to victory lane, something he has not been able to do this season. In fact, he is tied for the record for top 5 finishes without a win in the first 8 races of a season, with Darrell Waltrip and Benny Parsons.
Pretty good company right there, but this has got to be wearing on him. This is at home. This is a win. He's had 3 of them, and it's right there in front of you.
I mean, that's a good problem to have right there. Your worst finish so far this season, 11th. I mean, the consistency is there, but Denny Hamlin's got to be asking himself, what do we have to do to get this thing to victory lane? I heard him after Martinsville say, hey, we know how to finish 3rd. We've got that part figured out. We got to figure out how to get to 2nd, how to get to 1st. Well, today, it looked like he was getting himself to 1st. Now, maybe he's just going to get himself to 2nd. We'll see what happens. He's closing 30 laps.
Tell you what, you take that pit stop back from the 48, give them that opportunity. These guys are extremely fast right now when the time's right. If he would have had the track position, and it's still not over, right? There could be something happen. One of the fastest cars on the racetrack, Alex Bowman. Oh, rolling pretty good.
That's what you got to do.
Oh, exactly right. Try to, and I've always, again, talked about it last week. It's that 5/8 mark in the race race. See right here, going to get to the gas, try to beat him up off.
One of the things I'm noticing every time Logano catches a lap car, and listen, the 21 of DiBenedetto, he's in 9th place right now, so he's no slouch. But as Logano has caught him, it has brought his car to a halt.
And you can see Joey getting loose right there. He was a little bit loose in right there. You saw him get loose off of turn 4. Overdriving a corner a little bit, looking in that mirror, seeing where he's at, starting to wash up.
Can't wait to see how these two race one another for this win. Little history there.
Look at that.
Joey won't have to see him in the mirror. He's going to feel him here in a second.
But Joey's a smart race car driver. He's putting him where he wants him. He knows if he can stay right there on the outside, take that line away from him, especially on the exit. He's going to have to stay right on his door on exit.
Well, and also what this does, it just makes Denny Hamlin use up those tires, overheat those tires, and maybe takes away that advantage he has on Joey Logano right now.
So does Hamlin wait until they clear DiBenedetto?
You can see
to go after him again.
Having a lot of trouble right there in the middle of the corner, rolling, starting to diamond a little bit. right here and missed it again.
Mike, I think you got to pounce while you've got the opportunity. And he sees that Joey Logano struggled to get by Matt DiBenedetto. And so that's right now why Denny is going to try to be in his mirror, try to get to the outside, the inside, just really just be a pain in his butt, because that's maybe what's going to cause him to make a mistake and get Denny Hamlin by.
But it's the momentum, and it's a bubble, almost like you hear him talk about on a 1.5 miles. You get there, you can run him down, you're rolling better than them. Man, I tell you what, he's rolling the middle so much better. But it's very hard to continue that momentum and go on.
All right, here's Chris Lambert, Denny Hamlin's spotter.
His front brakes are on fire in front of me here. Keep forcing the issue.
And that's being that pain in the butt you talked about. Keep that pressure on him, make him overdrive that corner, because he's got to try to keep you behind him, and that's exactly what happens. And he keeps that up, it's going to continue to get tighter and tighter and tighter.
But that was a good observation too, about looking at the brake temperature and what Joey Logano's doing to run some of the lap times, and what that might be doing to his tires in his race car.
But if he can continue to stay right there where he is and take that racetrack away, take the exit away from him and that opportunity, it's doing exactly what you said, Jeff. It's making him
use the front bumper,
making him use that front wheel and the brakes himself.
Moving day.
money time.
We've seen some good bump and runs and a little bit of what is it, Mike? Bump and dump?
Oh, you wouldn't see that
here at Richmond.
No.
But guys, I've been seeing this the entire race with Denny Hamlin at 11. He uses the brakes hard, but he uses it a short amount of time, gets off of it.
So what that tells me, Larry, is his car's really working well. It's a neutral, it's balanced out in the middle of the corner. I like that. Look at that. Come on, man. Wasn't see him in the lead, but he's able to roll the corner, and it's so hard to do. If your hot rod's doing that, you can get off the brake, roll the middle. If not, you got to stay on them brakes and keep the front end turning.
Wasn't it just a couple of races ago that Denny was mad at himself for not using the bumper and
right
taking advantage?
I don't think if this thing gets down to the last few laps, he will not hesitate.
At home? Sorry, buddy. Easy to apologize later.
Oh, boy, right there, Joey Logano was in the tire tracks of Matt DiBenedetto, and both of those cars were sliding, getting into the corner.
Logano slices through, makes quick work of the 21.
This is that bubble that I was telling you, though. Something about this racetrack. I remember a few years back, I was one of the fastest cars on the track, got to Martin Truex Jr. way faster than him. As soon as I got to him, couldn't do anything with him. That's what you're seeing right here. Tell you what, Joey's pushing hard right there.
Yeah, you see the back end step out a little bit, getting into the corner.
20 to go this time.
Denny's car's
hooked up.
Definitely.
Oh, hard in the wall between turns 1 and 2. And I believe the right rear is off the car.
Well, yeah, you can see the tires off the wheel.
Maybe some fender damage, cut that right rear down. Who knows? I'll have to go back and no fender damage.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he scraped the wall.
6th caution of the day.
But
at
clearly,
lap 381 for Harvick.
Pretty clear that the right rear tire went down and that car spun around in a hurry.
Kevin was running 8th when this happened.
Just past the start-finish line, going into turn 1. Boy, yeah, that's like the worst place. Yeah, that right rear tire just went down. That's an odd situation that far into a run to see a right rear tire go down like that.
New fluid tire here. We're in the fence.
I just wonder, Clint, were they maybe putting a lot of heat into that right rear, and it was potentially like a melted bead or something?
Yeah, it's just hard to tell. I don't know. It seemed like, there's no fender damage, so obviously that's always the given that cuts those tires down, where scrape the wall or something like that. You see it time and time again. That was just a weird. It could have just flat out run over something, had a flat. I mean, that happens.
Boys, Kyle Busch got the free pass. Yes, he did. So that puts him back in play in 8th place. We will restart with 8 cars on the lead lap.
How many times you get a free pass and still in the top 10? Still got a chance, boys.
Well, let me tell you who's going to have a chance here is that 11 team that has been so strong all day long, making 4 tire stops for Denny Hamlin. This is where you need absolutely your best. Remember earlier in the pre-race show, we talked about the best on pit road through 8 races. The driver getting in and out of the pit box. Denny Hamlin ranked number 1. Then the crew, Alex Bowman up there first with that 48 crew, Denny Hamlin's 11 crew 3. But when you combine the 2 together, look who's on top. And you know what? They have kind of backed that up all day long. Denny Hamlin, that 11 team.
Regan.
Joey Logano, that run, he couldn't get the car to turn as good as he wanted to at the end of it. Needs an adjustment for that, as you saw him running a little high. Alex Bowman in the 48. That race car took off better this last run. He wants it to take off a little better now. Jamie?
No pressure on these 11 boys. All that talking about how good they have been this year, and especially today. The last set of sticker tires on. Good stuff as they celebrate as their 11th driver.
Woo. Here it is, the race off pit road, and that's how close it is.
That's how you stay ranked number 1.
Heck yeah. Good job, guys, and thank you.
But just remember, though, that 22 is good on the short runs. So you know he's going to be super aggressive trying to get this lead back.
Here's another look at Denny's pit stop. What's especially good here is, you know, this is the last stop of the day right here. So you've got to get all those lug nuts on because they count them at the end of the race, and there's fines and penalties. If not, you're not going to leave here with 3 on this stop.
I don't know. What's the fine?
No, you're not.
I want to know what the fine is. Might be worth it.
There's the difference, right? The one pit crew's high-five and the other pit crew's hanging their head.
Don't give up on this man just yet. Joey Logano is one of the most aggressive drivers there is on restarts, and he's had short run speed the whole time. Another 11-second pit stop.
12-2 on Logano. That wasn't bad at all.
I'd like to have a 12-2 pit stop and get beat off the pit
Hamlin,
road.
2/10 quicker on the track, 3/10 quicker. The pit crew, race leader, with 16 to go.
But very important to still keep in mind your roll times, your in the pit box, your exit of pit box. As a driver, you know, you hold a little bit of you know, overall outcome of that performance on pit road as well. So, you know, you've got to, when you get back Monday, you're going to go to that competition meeting and really dissect the whole overall outcome of the pit stop.
Pit stall location too plays into that.
Yeah, that too.
Hamlin trying to win his manufacturer's namesake race, the Toyota Owners 400. Logano trying to win on Mustang Day, the anniversary of the Mustang's launch in 1964. Alex Bowman just trying to win for the Bowtie Brigade.
You just said it. You took the words right out of my mouth. I said it just a little bit ago. This 48 car is one of the fastest cars on the track. You give him the opportunity to some track position and new life. Might be my guy right here.
Kevin Harvick now 2 laps down after bringing out that caution.
Give up the front row on the final restart, right? Yeah, you don't want to be behind them, right? Not really, no.
Yeah, I think you do what we talked about earlier. Just, you know the deal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Denny Hamlin will take that outside lane like he has on previous restarts. It's worked so well for him all day. So opens up the door for Joey Logano to decide with that choose zone of whether he wants to be in that outside lane on the rear bumper of Denny Hamlin or the inside. I just don't know if you can give up that front row.
No, and again, you look over your shoulder and look at that 48 car starting right there in third. These guys get together the least little bit. If the Joey can get door to door with him, gets loose, that's all it'll take.
25 drivers took the wave around. Some of them like DiBenedetto, Dillon, Elliott, Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Blaney, Chastain, Suarez, down to Blaney in 14th. Will get back on the lead lap. So Here they come to the choose zone. This should be very interesting. Be 12 to go when they restart.
Oh, Denny's going to the inside this time.
We're just make sure you don't want over.
Switching it up.
Check up here, 4 pretty good. Check it out. 51 up.
Does that surprise you, Jeff?
It did, because he's been in the outside lane and has made it work just about every time he's been out there.
Well, but he's also had the benefit of his teammate underneath of him that probably
That's
more
true.
than likely
And maybe
worked
that
with
played a
him.
role. And
yeah.
also, you know, he's racing Logano, a different competitor right now.
Now you got to make sure you got these tires warmed up. Remember, start of this race, spun his tires really, really hard. Lost a lot of positions right off the bat.
Yeah, not a lot of rubber on this racetrack. A lot of drivers have had trouble with wheel spin on restarts.
So what do you guys think? You think this is the last caution?
Yeah, right. All right, coming green this time. Hamlin, Logano, Bowman and Bell behind him. Almirola in 5th, Byron 6th, Truex up to 7th. Here we go.
Got a great jump right there. Needed it. 22 drove it really hard into the corner. I said it. This 48, I'm telling you, he had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack lap time wise on this last run. Here he comes.
Boy, look at that launch up off the corner. He's going to get to the
got
inside.
a butt coming.
Denny. We talked about the 22 having great short run speed. Alex Bowman with some great short run speed.
Getting door to door with him is one thing. Needing to clear him.
Oh, he got a little loose in.
And then look, we've talked about this 10 card needing to win. These guys get together, open the door up for him to win. I think I've done that before.
10 to go.
That's going to give the lead right there to Bowman.
Clear.
How about that? Bowman and Almirola making a show of this.
Tell you what, HMS has not been to victory lane since 2008. I think Alex Bowman was, what, about 15 years old?
Yes, the last time a Hendrick car won at Richmond.
Hell, the last time they won here, I had hair.
I don't know that I've ever seen a race like this. All those guys that took that wave around, you've got, what, these top 10, 12 cars that are all in a bunch, and then the rest of the pack is clearing the other side of the racetrack with those old tires.
How about Alex Bowman driving away from Denny Hamlin right now with 8 to go?
Christopher Bell inside Almirola. This will be for 4th place.
Told you he was bad fast. He is driving off. Got a little loose right there underneath of him.
Almirola, you know, with everything that's happened to him this season, he's just like, can we please just get the checkered flag out so this thing can be over?
I'll take great race, though, for Eric.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And here's Martin Truex about to bust back into the top 5 after overcoming a pit road penalty. Wow, you talk about surprise endings. This is one of them.
And with these short tracks, you know, new tires, new short run speed versus long run speed, but you get a late caution like this on a short track, you just cannot predict it. Kind of like our season's been this year.
Oh, absolutely. We told y'all it was going to be the best season ever. It's so unpredictable. These guys, they are racing hard.
Now this is right about that time when Denny Hamlin's car starts to typically come to him. After those air pressures get built up, be curious to see if he can close that gap at all on our leader, Alex Bowman.
That thing is just so hooked up, though. I say no. There is no way. 48 is stuck like glue right around the bottom. Watch him.
Match lap times that time.
And he's able to arc it. Big time arc getting in. Run really straight and
car was brushed the wall in 2. That's Cody Ware. Slow into turn 3, but way up high and out of the way. So we should be okay.
If you're Denny, how sick are you right now watching that car in front of you? Again, watching, thinking, how did this get slipped by through our fingertips?
After winning the first 2 stages, the last couple times he's done that, Kyle Busch ended up in victory lane here.
You saw Alex Bowman. He got up off the bottom just a little bit. Denny's going to take advantage of it, launch up off the corner.
Almost a tenth of a second right there. Now he's got traffic. Whoa, now he's got one guy. Woo, whoa. Gonna need some better help, spotter. Get these guys out of my way.
A knot of lap traffic right in front of Bowman. Here he comes to the white flag. 1 to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
White flag here.
Inside of Davidson and clear, but they're double wide in front of the leader.
Oh, man. That's the last thing.
With
Alex
Kevin
Bowman
Harvick and sparks flying, he got out of the way here.
And he splits those lap cars. Harvick backs out, gets out of the way. Hamlin comes to within 2 car lengths. Final corner of 400 laps. Alex Bowman steals one in Richmond.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, man. Greg Ives, crew chief of 48 is pumped. Look at that team.
They rebounded from a pit road penalty at lap 240
I can't
to score his 3rd career win.
And Denny Hamlin's
that's got to cut deep right there. At home, had it.
Can't believe we just did that at Richmond. Oh my God.
Believe it, buddy. You did it. They did it. Bounce back from a mistake.
But you called it, Clint. You noticed how fast that race car was.
Yeah.
If he got a shot to be up there with the leaders, I didn't know he had the kind of short run speed, but he showed that he did.
Bowman the showman brings the 48 to victory lane for the first time since Dover in 2017.
First time Ally has gone to victory lane.
Burn it down, buddy.
And another different winner. Boyer, we're going for 16, I think, by the end of the regular season.
We may all having with you over that. You may be right. Turns out he's pretty smart.
Or I may be crazy, but
no,
it sure is fun to watch.
It's like you pay attention. I'm struggling in that
He's
category.
been doing this for a long time. He's seen it all.
Poor Denny. What a heartbreaker.
Yeah, get over it. Nobody likes us anyway.
Now he's critiquing his burnout, man. Do whatever you want.
But another top 5 for Denny Hamlin. They said he's so far out in front of the points he could take a race off, but
top 10
that is little consolation.
Matt DiBenedetto, great run. Eric Almirola, both of those guys, top 10 runs. Needed it.
Almirola 6th and DiBenedetto 9th, their first top 10s of the season. Jamie's with our winner.
Last week, Alex Bowman was one of the fastest cars, and it ended in heartbreak for you guys. You come back and you seal the deal today after overcoming a pit road penalty. How did you guys overcome that?
Just a badass race car. It's as simple as that. Greg Ives and all the guys, they got to deal with me at short tracks, and I drive these places really wrong. And, you know, we kind of, instead of trying to make me figure it out, went to work on getting the race car to where I needed to be. And Greg has done such an amazing job at making that happen. So first and foremost, got to thank Ally and Chevrolet, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. This one's for Rowdy and his family. Miss him and Blakely every day, but just means the world to be able to win for Ally, and it's definitely emotional, obviously, with how hard the offseason was on us. So appreciative for the opportunity, and we got more races to win this year.
He's talking about his pit crew member that lost his life in the off season. Let's go back to the end of this race, though. You're battling 2 guys that combined have won it 5 times. What was going through your mind at that moment?
To be honest with you, we were terrible on short runs, so we restarted 3rd, and I'm like, man, if we get out of here with a solid top 5, we'll be good. You know, overcome a lot today, and I don't know if Greg pumped the pressures way up or what he did, but that's more grip than I've ever had in a race car at Richmond, and it worked out really well. So getting to race a guy like Denny at a place like this is really cool. Feel like we race each other really clean, so appreciative of that, and means a lot.
All right, I heard it's beers at your house tonight. Congratulations, Alex Bowman wins for the 3rd time in his career.
The other side of that battle, the 2nd place finisher, Denny Hamlin. Denny, such a strong race car all day long. What did you need a little more of at the end there?
Yeah, we just didn't take off quite as good there at the end. Tried to warm it up and do everything I could. Just 48 had more grip there for a few laps, and I couldn't hold the bottom. And once he got position, we just got shoved out there. So it's just like great job by the this FedEx Ground team. We're first and foremost want to think of all the families in Indy right now. Awful tragedy that happened there. So our thoughts and prayers are with these names on this hat. So we'll get them. We'll keep digging. We're dominating. Just gotta finish it.
Thanks, Denny.
Yep.
Alex Bowman on the final restart defeats Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano to win in Richmond. Alex Bowman looks through the crowd and asks the starter to please deliver the checkered flag to this young lady.
Hey, wait a minute. That's a Logano fan.
At least he had the decency not to give it to a Denny Hamlin fan.
I think she'll be a Bowman fan from here on out.
Good on you, Alex.
Here are your winners this season. 8 winners in 9 races.
Wow. Is that incredible? That is incredible. Boy, is this playoff shaping up to be something.
Well, let's hear from the 3rd place driver. He's with Regan.
3rd place result for Joey Logano. We saw you get up there at the end battling with Denny some. All of a sudden the 48 car comes out of nowhere. Still a very good day for your 22 car though.
Yeah, he's stolen us for sure, and congratulations to them. They beat us, and I think probably their adjustments they made on that final pit stop definitely made his car fire off really well, and he started to pay the penalty the last couple laps, but he's so far out it didn't matter. So frustrating because we're so close with the Shell Pennzoil Mustang and wanted to get our Ford and Victor lane here and let some laps, made the pass on Denny. Then we had a heck of a battle going back and forth. He was tight when I passed him, then I was tight and he caught back up to me. So the track was changing there. We were both trying to keep up with it. Dang it, just I hate being that close. I mean, third's decent, but gosh, when you're that close and you're on the front row in the final restart, you think you can get a good shot at it, and just the front didn't wake up for 3 laps. Once it woke up, it was too late. So part of it, I guess.
Thanks, Joey.
Yep.
Great drive by Joey Logano today, who led 49 laps, but Alex Bowman led the last one. We'll be right back to Alex Bowman. Hendrick Motorsports and Chevrolet win the Toyota Owners 400. And that list of winners is filling up fast.
Boy, isn't it? And we're going to Talladega. So
chances are you're going to add another wild name to that you didn't expect.
Most unpredictable track. 16th, the cut line. That's where Kurt Busch is by 10 points over Chris Buescher.
The most incredible thing are the names on that list that haven't won. I mean, those are some big names. Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Harvick, Hamlin.
Here's what's coming up tonight on Fox, beginning with The Simpsons. And here we go. Next Sunday, race day, 1:30 Eastern time. Talladega, 2 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Tighten your seatbelt.
You ready, Boyer?
It doesn't get any more wild than that.
And, of course, NASCAR Race Hub weeknights on FS1 to keep you up with all the news about your favorite sport. Alex Bowman celebrates in Victory Lane at Richmond.
I am no longer in the shadow. I am the new horizon, the beginning of a new legacy.
Finally, Chase Elliott gets to burn down the house.
And the continuation of an old one. I am the sound of silence to all the doubters. And the deafening roar of a siren in Dawsonville. I am the number you will see in the stands, and the one covered in confetti. I am not here to brag, just win. I am Chase Elliott. I am NASCAR.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in